It's very democratic with The Cure because it doesn't matter whether you wrote a song or you didn't, you still get a credit.
So the eras you were in the band, no
was,
DX7 was allowed?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Well, also it's brown.
I heard at one point you left The Cure because you didn't like the big stadium shows, which I find quite interesting.
Robert said it had taken him 2 years to mould Boris into a Cure drummer.
Yeah.
And now he said, I've got to start all over again with you, haven't I?
Do you meet up often with that man from Depeche Mode? Cause
Martin.
You don't sound like you like many of the bands you were involved with.
Everything about prog music is wrong. I would burn every Yes album.
And I'm very excited to say that not only do we have Ian Wright, who's in the cab right now, but one of the esteemed few on the board of Big Goth, Roger O'Donnell himself. You had the most amount of sequential circuits products on stage at any one time.
Correct.
That was for a psychedelic fuzz.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I was going to lead with this, and you were going to come in and be fascinated. I was going to lay a synth trap for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what you're saying. Does it perk your interest? Does it sound like an album you put out in 2006? I think that it sounds a lot like. Well, it was quite shocking. Is it The Truth in Me? That's a great outlook. Anyway, Roger O'Donnell's here, and he's put out a lot of nice records that we. Also, I have a DX7 downstairs, so if you'd like to noodle. All right, well, we'll wait for Ian to arrive and listen to some Hugh Hopper and Alan Gowan. All right, I have lured him into some synth chat. Start again. What were you just saying?
I was just saying that when you started that record, I thought you were going to ask me what synthesizer it was, which is...
I was hoping you were going to just wax lyrical about synthesis.
Well, I do love synthesis.
I'm so happy to hear that. But you refused to touch my DX7.
DX7s came around at a time, and they were really a negative influence on synthesis because they were virtually impossible to program.
But I've seen you on stage with one, so I thought you must be okay with them.
I don't think so.
The Cure in Orange.
No, I wasn't there.
Really? Oh, that was...
And
all
I
right,
don't
that's
think
immediate
it was
minus 100 points for me.
I'll let you off. Yeah, I've been... there were a few eras when I wasn't with
So the eras you were in the band, no DX7 was allowed?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Well, also it's brown.
Yeah.
Which was an absolute no-no.
Oh, it's a very deep brown, though.
Yeah, but it's any hint... when I joined the band, I had a brown jacket, which I wasn't allowed to wear. And Lowell was always accused of wearing brown things.
Yeah, and that is banned. Who started the black thing?
I don't know. I think it was Susie.
Yeah.
Because I think before Robert went to the Banshees, all bets were off. But she was quite a very strict style icon, somebody that tells you what to do. You know,
she knows what's up.
She knew what was
And
up.
did you need help at that point? Was it a ragtag misfit?
Well, if you see me at that time, I wasn't in the band.
No. You and Ian, what would you have been wearing?
Can we change the subject?
We'll wait till Ian gets here.
Ian was always my style guru.
Yeah.
He'd always know what the coolest things were.
He's very cool. Ian.
Like when we first started wearing Converse All-Stars, he knew where to get them. And there was only one shop in London.
It wasn't Sports Direct.
No, it was a shop on Upper Street, which I can't remember the name. He'll know. And you could go. They only had, I think, three colours: white, black, and red.
And which ones did you go for?
Orange.
You're already modifying things.
Well, I wanted the red ones, but they didn't have them.
Oh, so they had some bootleg orange ones.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. Yeah, there were bootlegs, which are horrible.
Yeah, very uncomfortable shoes in the first place, let alone...
Yeah, no arch support.
No arch support.
Can't wear them.
No. Anyway, back to synth chat.
Yeah.
So, you were saying it's very hard to identify...
Very hard to tell, let's say, an ARP from a Moog, from sequential circuits, profits, easier to identify.
Yeah.
But if you've got a pure kind of sine wave tone on a mini Moog, and you're trying to identify that against something else, quite tricky, especially if it's got effects on it. Whereas electric pianos, I can spot them a mile away. I can tell a Rhodes from a Wurlitzer, from a Pianet, from, I think that's
Mellotron?
Mellotrons are easy.
Yeah. What about the Nord?
Well, that's a modern thing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
does it stand up? What do you think about these
I don't like
new synths doing old synths?
They're Nords are kind of what are called modelling synthesizers.
Yeah.
So they're not analog, and they don't generate their own sounds.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a purist.
Yeah. Do you meet up often with that man from Depeche Mode? Because
Martin.
Yes, he has his own museum.
Martin's big into modular synths at the moment. His house is just one wall of it.
Yeah.
Is just modular.
Do you often pop round?
No, he lives in Santa Barbara. So.
That wouldn't stop you, would it? Yeah.
So you think I'm some kind of international jet setter?
Synth obsessive.
Yeah, I was just finding out St. Martin. I'll be over for a podcast on.
Well, once a year.
No, I do see. I probably see him once a year, but
but no synths are involved.
No, generally not.
Let's have this one off your album. That last record, really. I just thought, this sounds like a synth smorgasbord of an album.
Which one is this?
This is The Truth in Me.
Oh yeah. So this is all entirely made up from Moog Voyager.
Oh, well.
Played one note at a time and layered.
Right. And what were you using to layer? What desk? Do you have a Neve desk?
No. At the time, I think I had a Mackie, but now I don't have a desk.
No. You do all in the ITB.
All in Logic.
All in the box, yeah.
Yeah, all in.
Did you go through a period of getting rid of all the hardware except the synths?
Yeah, because I was like, I don't need this mixing desk. I don't need all.
Did it go up on eBay as formerly owned by?
No.
Did that add any?
I did sell a Yamaha Grand CP70 on eBay once, and the guys found out who I was.
Yeah.
And I made my girlfriend sell it and deal with them because they were like, "Is Roger at home? Is he around?" And she's like,
"It must be a nightmare."
I was hiding in the bedroom. Sorry, guys, if you're listening. If you bought the CP70. Great piano, by the way.
Didn't he want a picture with you and it for the thing's resale value?
Yeah. That would probably be negative. Yeah. Negative resale.
Well, it's Roger O'Donnell from The Cure, from one of my favourite albums as well.
Thank you, very nice of you.
This is very one, but I was going to say as well from Disintegration. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I love that
That's
sound.
A great album.
And you had a lot to do with that sound.
I did have a lot to do with it.
So we'll be talking about that later.
And can I just say that this album, the album cover is, of course, designed by Ian.
I know, I was saying
Ian
you stick with Ian, right?
Yeah. Well, we went to, friends of 50 years.
It's lovely. He's going to be here any minute now. So we were just
He's
having
always late.
A quick pre-noodle before Ian. Basically, we're going to have Ian and you talking about your early life together. It's like This Is Your Life of Michael Aspel, but different Michael Aspels come in for different periods of your life.
Andrews.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Okay. Whose was better? Was Eamon better?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Everything older is better. Hi, Ian.
Good morning.
Hello.
Sorry I'm late.
No. You now have to start again. We have to start right from the beginning now.
Okay.
When you first fell in love.
Oh, yeah.
You were in the lunch queue.
No, morning tea. Morning break.
I can picture it now. I can actually see it.
Yeah.
He had a jacket with BJ on it.
Did he? What was that short for?
Blue jackets. Yeah. Not that other BJ. Well, in case. So, Roger was the only one that looked interesting in that entire cohort of students, I think.
I had long hair.
He had very long hair, so I was
Martin
already interested.
has texted in.
Oh, and he had a baseball jacket.
Yeah,
So I had one. I had a baseball jacket. So we kind of looked, and we just ended up having a chat in this queue,
And then we sat together.
and then we seemed to sit together in the actual studio, and then we were.
I'm just setting up
Mates.
the third mic.
All right, we're getting another mic.
I don't know if that's
Oh,
Can anyone hear me? Roger, try that.
1 2 1 2.
you can come on this one.
Yeah. It's always a tricky thing with the three. So why did he look the most interesting of all the other boring arts?
Because he had long hair.
Really?
It's as simple as that.
Was that very rare in the... What years
No.
was this? The
Yeah,
50s?
Yeah, this was the 50s.
Barbara.
1975, September 1975.
Yeah.
You are an anti-mic guy.
What?
Ian, you've just arrived. I got to a very exciting bit where I've got a series of synths downstairs.
Yeah.
I've been offering it. I offered the DX7. He said no, but he's up for the ARP.
Whoa.
So you two have a chat. I'll go and get that out.
Oh, wow.
And he's going to show us how to achieve harmonics.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, well,
Maybe.
it's not true.
No, we could just have a noodle.
True harmonics. I read talking about Jacko when he played with Joni Mitchell.
Closer.
When he played with Joni Mitchell,
Jacko Pastorius, yeah.
Joni said that she at first kind of tried to control him, but then realised that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
And she just let him play whatever he wanted.
And then that led to because the live bit where he starts doing his little looping bit
incredible,
is
yeah.
beautiful. But I can imagine Joni going, "What is he up to?"
Yeah, well, and with Pat Metheny on guitar, I mean, she didn't really stand a chance, did she?
What should we? Should we have a tune? Ian, do you want to say a tune that sums up Roger to you?
Oh, well,
Because you two would never talk about The Cure, would you, or any music really?
No, probably not.
no.
What would you two be hanging out talking about in the canteen?
Design, art, fashion, clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it. We know
Music. Well, music, but then obviously that's a different period of music.
Yeah.
But I remember...
Oh, but Ian,
What?
You came in one day with a flyer and said, "Look at this," and it was the two cowboys with their dicks out.
Oh.
The Sex Pistols. And
Sex
that was
Pistols.
the first introduction to punk.
So Ian.
And he said, "Look at this." And
Look at this.
What is that?
Yeah.
And then that was it, and we were introduced to punk. We
Yep.
didn't really know what was going on because it was pub rock at the time.
Oh, yeah.
You're a keyboardist.
Yeah, there was lots of pub rock.
I have done backing vocals. You know.
From miles away.
Well,
in a reverb room.
yeah.
Is that okay? Can you hear Roger there?
Hello.
Roger's
You can come
choosing
on
to
this
stand
one.
at the back. Like
Oh,
the
I can
synth
stand
player.
over here.
Well, no, I could take that mic, and you two could take these. We'll bring
Okay.
you up to front of stage, Roger.
All right.
Because I heard at one point you left The Cure because you didn't like the big stadium shows, which I find quite interesting. Because The Cure doesn't seem like a big stadium band,
Well,
but it is.
honestly, I think at the time, it was 1990,
Yeah.
and I realised that I'd achieved everything that I'd wanted to do.
Yeah.
Up until then, it was living week to week, or it had been all my career. And then all of a sudden, we had everything. I'm like, okay, what do I do now?
Mm.
So I left.
Yeah. And what did you do?
Opened a clothing shop.
Yeah, with Ian.
No, it should have been. But actually, we did
They're in
combine
spirit.
on some T-shirt designs.
Nice.
I did
Where was
some
this shop?
in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
I did some T-shirts that he wanted to have done.
How long did you stay in
It's
the rag
still
trade?
there.
Really?
It's
What's
still
it called?
there.
Roger O'Donnell Threads?
No, it's called Uncle Otis. It's
Yeah.
still there, but I don't own it anymore. I sold it.
Uncle Otis.
Yeah, because we wanted something that was familial
Ooh.
and sort of cross race kind of,
Yeah.
sort of blurring all the lines.
Why did you choose Toronto as your HQ?
Seemed like a good place to go.
Yeah. Was it nice?
Yeah, it was then. It was really nice. It was kind of a smaller city kind of vibe.
Did it give a reason for Ian to fly out a lot? Did you?
No, he
did you
didn't
go and-
come.
You
Didn't
didn't
come to
go
No,
Toronto's-
sadly,
yeah.
we met in New York, though.
Oh yeah, we did because
for
it
the
was
big
closed.
fashion show. Yeah.
No, we went
Didn't you
to
have a big
we
launch?
We went to Hang 10.
Hang 10, yeah.
Hang 10.
Amazing t-shirts.
Oh right, yeah.
So beautiful, lovely
yeah.
colours.
Oh, and
Yeah.
you stole a load of those ideas and.
No, what we did was, we were buying them for the shop.
Oh, okay.
And
You're
I was
stocking,
saying,
okay.
Ian, which ones do you like? So he was like, I'll have that one, that one, that one,
Yeah,
and that
I
one.
want this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was good.
But I also told Roger to get Stussy,
Yeah.
which people in my studio were wearing. I was in Neville Brody's
So
studio.
you say Stussy.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what it
That's
is,
what Sean
apparently.
says. Well,
Is
what
it?
do they
You
say in
know-
London?
No, I say Stussy, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's-
We've already had the Moog and Moog chat.
Yeah, because it's
okay.
got an
Diane
umlaut
Warwick-
over the
yeah.
U.
Stussy.
Yeah, I'm friends with Sean.
Yeah, you know Sean Stussy.
Yeah, because
Well, he had the shop. He
we
was
couldn't get,
carrying
we
the-
couldn't, and he's a massive Anglophile.
Yeah, and Cure fan.
No, he doesn't like the Cure. he did come to a show once, but I think he left after about half an hour.
Yeah.
Well, I can't
What does he
blame
like?
him. He likes reggae.
Yeah, like Ian and him get on. then.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'd get on with him.
Did you ever meet him? No.
No, he didn't like you.
He's a very, very
I'm quite low
intense
key.
guy.
I don't meet them. You're the most famous person I know, apart from Charlie.
And I'm not famous at all.
So your clothing brands,
Yeah.
synth chat. What's next? What can you get into? While I need to get you a chair and a coffee. And
Shouldn't
I'll
we
get
play
the
some
ARP out.
music?
Yeah, let's play some music. People, it's
Yeah,
Monday
People
morning.
look at, yeah,
Music,
they
yeah.
need
What would
to-
you like, Ian?
I think, when I think
Look,
of
somebody
Roger,
says they need bangers.
some
Yeah.
Herbie Hancock.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from the Man-Child album.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Because Roger used to bring that into life drawing. So in life drawing, the tutor used to play the Take 5 Dave Brubeck album, and we had enough of that after a few weeks. So we started bringing in records, and Roger brought the Herbie Hancock. I bought Ital Dub by Augustus Pablo, and there was a girl there called Madonna Cole, and she brought in Millie Jackson. So we had quite a good
Very sexy.
caught up. Yeah, really great, really great. But what track? I don't know what track.
Oh,
we
hang
do.
up your hang-ups. That'll
Okay.
get people.
Well,
Going to
you're
work.
gonna go chameleon then.
No, you can't. That's the problem with songs. I was thinking about that the other day, how songs are ruined by being the best.
Yeah.
Because they become cliched, so you can't ever
That's true.
listen to them. But
Yeah, you can't hear them properly.
yeah, and it negates the fact that they're the best song ever.
Yeah. I mean, that is Phil Collins' career in a nutshell, really. I mean, he perfected that sound to such a point that
Yeah.
no one likes him.
But somebody was saying the other day, does he, when that song comes on in the air tonight, does he play air drums to it?
Yeah. I'm almost certain he doesn't.
Really?
I don't know. I hope he would, but
I
a
was
lot of
at-
people don't like their own music.
I was at an award ceremony once, and he was in the row behind me,
Yeah.
and he was the kick drum was on the back of my seat the whole way through the
way.
show.
Oh, that is a great story. Is that true?
Yeah,
Really?
I
he
don't
can't
make
help
up.
Because the funny
he
thing is,
can't help it. No.
have you seen the Genesis? There was a great Genesis got back together and did a big tour.
Did
No,
they?
was it even Genesis? I think it was. Or was it Phil Collins? Anyway, it was so Spinal Tap. They went and got these architects, these stadium architects, and they built this huge monstrosity with a big central bit that put the guy up on a thing that went 200 foot in the air. And like in the meeting, he says, "I've got serious vertigo." So that's like that was £4 million of development down the bin. And then they had a big computer thing going. Which someone had to press a button at the same right time, but the computer was so antiquated, and they realised they didn't have anyone to fire it, so they got in someone's son to learn the whole back catalogue and learn all the cues, because if you got it wrong, you had to reset the whole system because it was all out of whack. And then
Yeah.
it turned out Phil couldn't play like he used to be, so he was having a tantrum all the time. It was amazing.
He can't play at all anymore, can he? He's in a wheelchair.
Well, he broke his wrist as well at a
Did
certain
he?
point. That stopped him playing prog. Anyway, let's have hang up your hang-ups. Yeah?
Yeah.
What would you like to say about this? Also, I'd like to
That's a
know
great
more
song.
of your songs that are so good you can't listen to them. Could you name
Oh
another
yeah.
two?
Well, Chameleon's number one.
Yeah.
I think.
That is the work.
It's because you think, oh yeah, let's listen to some Herbie, and then you look at Headhunters, you go, oh, I can't listen to that.
Yeah,
It's too good.
yeah. Yeah.
So then you move on to one that's not as good.
I think these are songs, if you boil it down, are songs that blow your mind as a child, if you listen.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing Chameleon for the first time, and my life was never the same. And a lot of these songs, they have a quality to them.
Yeah.
The greatest bass.
It's like seeing Star Wars for the first time.
Yeah, it's just like certain films that you can't watch because, that's too good.
Yeah. Although I was watching Indiana Jones last night. You can appreciate, as a grown-up, you can see the directing and the scope of it.
Yeah.
Monument
You look
Valley and just the
differently.
lovely settings.
Or you listen differently.
Yeah. Anyway, All right. Which is the best bit, Roger?
Oh, when it kicks into the piano side, it just takes it to another level.
People pay a lot of money for this kind of content, like the director's commentary over the DVD. We could have this all shown, it would be heaven for me.
Well, I'm not Herbie Hancock, I have to say.
No, but as Roger O'Donnell commenting on music.
On a keyboard solo.
Oh, Roger's sorry. Roger just said he's met him a few times. Come on, Roger.
I've met Herbie, I think 4 or 5 times, and he's just the nicest person. He's like your uncle. He remembers your name.
Wow.
Like you say, "Oh, hi, I'm Roger," and he's like, and you're chatting away, and he's like, "So, Roger, what did you think of this and that?" And it's just, he's just the nicest person, and he's my all-time hero. Last time I saw him, he played for 3 hours with like 3 different lineups.
Yeah.
All right, I won't say anything else.
No, please keep your anecdotes. Roger's developing a keyboard brush. I just pulled out my ostrich feather duster.
Oh.
Because, look, I had to get it. It's impossible to keep all this stuff clean.
That looks good.
But anyway, look forward to Roger O'Donnell's keyboard brush. Are you going to go on the shopping channel and do the whole...
No, it's going to be very exclusive.
What fibres are you going with? Man-made or...
It's going to be a combination of carbon and, I believe, some rare bird.
Rare bird?
Yeah.
Graphene.
A rare bird and carbon.
This is lovely. Roger is just the man of the anecdote. He did not stop telling amazing stories of people during every record. Ian, maybe you'd like to choose one that bonded. I wanted to play some Cure, but Roger, anyway, we could have a Mixcloud strike. I'm going to play one anyway, because what else are we...
Okay, play.
Are we going to get through a whole show without playing a Cure record?
We could.
We could. Roger would be fine with that. I mean, you did just get off a very strenuous...
Strenuous 2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks? It's been a lot, isn't it? It's 48 hours a day.
It is. There are very long rehearsals.
Where's the head? I've got the wrong... My mind's
Oh,
gone
there you
blank.
King of Rock and Roll, we've got Roger O'Donnell from The Cure. Okay, we're just queuing up a record.
Yeah, we're just taking our time. Roger's just getting...
The keyboard being prepared.
Yeah, just having a look at the ARP.
Yeah, it's very nice.
This is the one. This reminded me of the last one, the little Last Dance. Oh, thank God.
It's left off the original
Roger, hold
vinyl.
the mic.
Is this a 2-disc version?
Yeah, yes, it is. Was this not on the original album? I
No,
like
and
this one a lot.
Boris, the drummer at the time, and I fought for it because...
Boris is who got you into the band.
Yeah, exactly. You've done, so your producer's done your research for you.
Yeah, I've tried. I've got to fit in that knowledge, keep the guest happy.
So in those days, CDs were just sort of... the primary release was vinyl.
Yeah.
So, but the full album came out on CD, but to get it squeezed onto vinyl, we had to drop 2 tracks. And we were very upset that this one was dropped.
And I don't know enough of you really to know, but I do feel your
My
essence
presence
is on this record.
Yeah, I do love this song. Oh, on the whole record. Well, yeah, because...
Well, no, just this song as well.
This song specifically, yeah.
It has an
lot
energy
of strings,
to it.
lot of strings,
Yeah.
lot of...
And you had a lot to say with that.
yeah.
Robert would show up, say these are the kind of lyrics, and you'd say right, and battle to get some kind of sculpture.
Let's go with that. I like
Yeah.
that. That sounds
That-
good.
that-
Maybe true.
Maybe not. Yeah, let the myth.
Let the myth prevail.
Yeah.
It was... So we would do... So there'd be 3 elements to making a record.
Yeah.
Get together, listen to everyone's songs that they've written, and then choose the best ones of those, then do.
And was that okay? Were people okay? Were like, oh, I knew that one. Or were people saying,
Well,
oh,
yeah.
no, I like this one?
No, because you kind of defer to what. The key to it all is what Robert thinks he can sing to.
Yeah.
So you may write a brilliant song, but if he doesn't think he can come up with words or a melody line for it, then it's not going to get anywhere. So that's a part of the process.
Okay, and how long did it take you to get to that process? Because I'm just thinking a lot of young bands, they fall out over these kind of decisions.
Yeah.
And yet if you listen to bigger, more established bands, they have it they're quite normal. Like, oh yeah, we didn't like that record, we went with this one. And
Well, it's very democratic with The Cure, because it doesn't matter whether you wrote a song or you didn't, you still get a credit.
yeah.
So it takes away that competitive element from
Right.
it. So you weren't saying, oh, I need to get my song on the album, otherwise I won't make any money.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So it was just about getting the songs that would work together.
Wow.
So we would vote on them.
Yeah.
Then the top ones would go through to pre-production kind of, and we would play them together
Yeah.
and do a couple of overdubs, but not in a real studio.
Yeah.
And then we would take those versions into the real studio
Mm.
and then record them for real. I think we had a few extras that usually end up as B-sides.
And where was the Unreal Studio? Would that be?
The Unreal Studio was at Boris's house in Devon.
Nice.
And
Would it always be there, or would it move around?
that was the only one that I did with
Yeah.
that lineup.
Yeah, okay.
So we did it there, and we played in his dining room, and all of the plaster moulding from the ceiling fell down because it was loud.
What rig did you bring in for that?
It was pretty simple. I had one keyboard, and they had like one guitar each, so it was very simple, pared down.
Did you need a lot of bass while you were recording? Was that
always
key to
a lot of bass.
I love that.
There's always a lot of bass.
You do need the bass.
Simon's very very strong bass player, very powerful sound.
Would you have to get your EQs a bit down? To
Well, we
not
didn't
clash?
really tweak things because
Yeah.
we were just.
I bet you could let out some deep bass though.
I
from
can
some
go
of your
way
sequential circuit.
In fact, live they've got an EQ across my bottom end.
Well, that's what I was. Because you're too dangerous. You go too low.
I can destroy the PA.
Can you make children vomit from
weep
the back
and
row?
vomit.
Yeah. What is that? That's the brown note. The 5 hertz.
Oh, it's nasty down there.
How low can you go?
Very low.
Really?
Very,
Do you
very
enjoy
low.
going low on your own time
Yeah.
in your house?
In my whole house shakes.
Do you have an anechoic chamber?
I don't know what that is, but yes.
You know, the hole in the ground with no
Oh no, I
other
haven't got
frequencies.
no holes in the ground apart from the well. So we would then take these songs that we knew how to
Can we
play.
just go more about how low you go? Who does it annoy and how far away?
The cows.
If you get a message from the village 5 over, do you
Yeah.
think you've won
Yeah.
that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the milk starts coming out a different
Perfectly.
colour,
Yeah.
then I know I've gone low enough.
Don't
But
you
yeah, I
realise you're
can-
saying everything that makes me very happy right now, and you keep trying to move on?
I can go lower, obviously, than
Yeah.
any instrument.
Have you gone lower
Yes.
to the point that it's got dangerous, and you thought, I'm never going to go
it's
that low?
it's the musical version of the limbo.
But this is serious stuff. It's dangerous.
The US Army developed a weapon
yeah, they did.
with
yeah.
low frequency.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, on stage,
Right.
on the last tour, they stacked the sub bass under the stage,
Right.
because there's nowhere else to put it.
Yeah.
And because I'm very sensitive,
Yeah.
I actually feel sick. So they have to kind of try and dial it out. In fact, I was standing on
You
one
feel
of those.
sick if it's not low enough.
No, when it's that low,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
because
Well, you would.
the sub bass is because
What hertz
it's
were we
not really
talking about?
audible.
No.
It's,
No.
It's
a feeling.
It's a sensory thing.
Yeah.
So we have to try and dial it out.
Really? But you kind of miss it at the same time.
Well, no, because I can't be thrown up on stage, can
That is
I?
incredible. I mean, because the rigs you're dealing with at those
Massive.
sizes is terrifying. It's like a
Massive.
ship.
Yeah.
The
It's like
size
shit.
of a warship.
Hard to stop.
Yeah.
In fact,
Really, when you hit a key.
once you've got it moving, It's hard to stop. I tell you the other hard,
Imagine.
really hard thing to do with setting up a PA, if we're going to get into that
Yeah.
sort of area, is the time difference.
Oh yeah,
So the
delays and all that.
yeah, the speakers that are halfway up the hall
Yeah.
have to be. There has to be a time thing put in.
Yeah.
On the first tour I did with The Cure, we had surround sound,
Wow.
which was quite innovative in 1987.
Yeah.
So that was even harder to set up.
Yeah.
I think we ditched that in the end.
And what about the standing waves?
I prefer standing audiences.
Yeah.
Like when they sit down, it's really boring.
No, I'm talking acoustical.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Standing waves, when it gets trapped, you've got to have
Oh yeah, I
baffles
hate
and
that.
things to keep it
That's
moving.
awful.
And, yeah.
It baffles.
Yeah, you need a lot of work to get it sounding
Yeah.
good. And you're known as a band to make it sound really, really good.
Oh yeah. Corky, our sound.
It is
engineer.
surprising how many people are in music and don't care about the sound.
Oh, so when you go and see a band and all you can hear is drums and bass, it's just
Yeah.
keyboards always get lost.
Oh, okay,
But
that's a personal beef.
I always, I just like slip him a
Yeah.
bribe.
What sound system do you have at home to make sure you can put out that bass? You have those classic old like JBL, the blue ones. The
I
4-3
did
ones.
have them, but now I've got DIN audio with
yeah.
a sub bass with a woofer.
And is it a tiny system that creates huge
it's-
problems, or
It's
is it?
pretty.
Or is it
It's
big?
similar to yours,
Oh, really? And it's
Yeah.
really that's enough.
but the bass is
Oh, well,
really good.
Ginormous bass.
Giant bass.
Oh,
woofer
this is
driver
great.
thing.
This is Roger O'Donnell and Ian. We're just having bass chat. This must sound great. I mean, I haven't had the chance. I've tried to see you 3 times, and I've been cursed. I don't
Yeah,
think it's ever going to happen.
You were ill, weren't you?
Yeah, I was very ill. I think I would have killed both Ian and everybody around. Venomous flu I had.
Oh,
I
horrible.
did feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
felt the
On the
anger.
phone when I spoke to you. So,
Yeah.
Ian, like, let's have this. This is great. This must sound great live.
Unbelievable. I used to live in Camberwell, and in a basement flat, and the next flat was empty. So once a week, they would bring in a sound system. The walls used to be sweat.
Who brought the sound system? Oh, the flat next
It was
door.
in Camberwell.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a full-on sound.
Subsystem.
Yeah, it's so fucking loud. Are they? They don't have sound systems anymore.
Well, I just.
He won't stop talking. Amazing stories. Start from the beginning again.
About what?
What you just said.
Where were we?
About the Blue Note.
He used to go to the Blue Note, and Groove Rider made your friend throw up.
I took some friends from Iceland.
Was it Bjork? Were you there with David Bowie and Bjork and one of the Spice Girls? That was the Blue Note crowd.
David said, or we call him the Duke.
Yeah.
Duke said, should we phone up Björk
Yeah,
and go down the Blue Notes?
yeah,
And I said, yeah, all right.
I bet- yeah,
Apart from watching Melvin Bragg.
yeah.
And so we went.
What happened to Melvin? Anyway,
He's 95.
that
He's
hair
still
is
around.
incredible.
He has got the best hair.
Do you know that thing about Christopher Walken used to viciously yank on his hair to keep it strong so he would never lose the Christopher Walken hair? And I think Melvin Bragg does the same. Just really pulls on it strongly to get
I'd
that
try that, but I
big
think it will come out.
Melvin Bragg hair. It's a strong quiff, is what I'm saying. Quaff.
Yeah, so we went. Well, I used to go every week. And the bass was so low.
I can't believe I went too. And
I would have
we
been
must-
there as well, but I had to sit in the car outside because my cousin said I wouldn't get in. So I could have been outside. You and Ian were inside.
I was at one end of the bar. Ian was
David
at the
Bowie was DJing. And anyway, then it was a lot of bass there.
other. Had a lot of bass, and my friend Danny from the band Mouse, he had to go outside and throw up because the bass was so
I
low.
wonder which tune it was.
Oh, it was
Some,
great days.
yeah, codename John business. I was going to say ELO.
I saw them.
Because we're talking about bands that were much better live than on album. But ELO really looked after their...
I saw them
sounds.
live.
and they're apparently deafening and a lot of synth bass.
Really? No.
Yeah.
ELO?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The guy,
Surely
didn't he have a Tonto system that he used to wheel out? And
Ah, now we're talking.
Are we
Tonto's expanding headband.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
Have
that
you
was
got
actually...
Oh, come
Stevie
on.
Wonder owned...
Well, those were the guys.
Yeah.
Cecil,
They had their own band. That was why it was called that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were very very upset about the way they were treated
By who?
by Stevie.
Oh, because he just said press this button and do that.
Well, he took all the credit, and they did all the synth programming
Yeah, really, I've never
for
heard
like
this.
Talking Book, Inner Visions.
No one's ever said a bad word about Stevie in the entirety of his lifetime,
No,
except
I-
Roger O'Donnell. In
Well, no, I haven't.
2024.
It's Tonto we're talking about, not me. I love Stevie. Stevie is a huge influence on me.
Oh, look, the mic, you're going to hear it, that you really like seeing Radiohead live. That was on mic.
Oh. I didn't say anything bad about Radiohead.
No,
I like them.
I like them.
Oh, well, I didn't, but then a friend of mine said you have to see them live.
Exactly.
And I went to see them at a festival, and I was blown away.
Really?
Yeah.
Festival sound is not known to be that good.
No, but they were excellent. They were just, the intensity, it was just so good.
Where was this? What year was this?
It was 2012, and it was in Barcelona.
Oh,
Oh, no, Lisbon, sorry.
yeah, Lisbon is good
Yeah.
for live stuff. Wow. Oh, they want to shout out to his son that
Shout out.
15.
15-year-old Aaron, massive Cure fan, who's got into them off his own back, doing his mocks. Good luck with the mocks. Oh, I hate the
Yeah,
mocks.
Good luck.
Because they're like the real
Yeah.
thing, but not.
No, it's just stress.
But apparently
Yeah,
they're harder
I
than the
did
real
very
things.
badly.
Yeah.
Ian's not good with
It's
exams.
so bad.
He just
I don't remember doing
At
that.
art school, when it was time to put up our work on the wall.
Oh, yeah?
They were called crits.
Yeah, horrible.
So we'd all put up finished artwork, and Ian would put up like these rough sketches, and they're like, so what's going on here?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And what did he
I
have?
didn't know what was going on. Well, you always told me that I never finished anything.
No, you didn't.
'Cause
I'm still
'cause
waiting for my 40th birthday
Oh, actually,
painting.
you are.
Was it going to be a nude?
No, it's Frank
it
Zappa.
was Frank Zappa.
Oh. So when are you going to finish that, Ian?
You've got a year
Okay.
until my 70th.
Okay.
No, that's
Oh,
Ian needs
gosh.
longer than a year. You've really put your foot in it there,
Yeah,
Ian.
I know. God. Yeah, I showed him. I took it to the.
Yeah, you
I
gave
took it
me.
to the birthday party, and then I had to take it back and say, I
And you
need
sold
to
it to
finish
somebody else?
No.
Oh, you need to finish it.
I used it as a basis for a painting
It's been painted over.
Somebody else.
of a film director.
Quentin.
Scorsese.
No,
Coppola.
No, much more obscure.
Sidney
German.
Lumet. Oh,
Oh yeah.
Werner
Fassbender.
Herzog. Oh,
Fassbender.
Is it Fassbinder?
Fassbender
Fassbender is the actor.
Okay, sorry.
No,
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe there is another
Yeah,
Fassbender.
yeah.
Yes, and
And
Where
he
is the
hasn't
paint?
got it.
And I haven't got
don't
it.
know where it is.
29
I
years
actually
ago.
I think it's back at that was done for the BFI. But I've got have got a
Poor
picture
Roger.
of Frank Zappa in progress.
have you?
Yeah.
Was it for Roger? Somebody
Yeah.
else?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
particularly for him.
Oh, so that's
Thank
nice.
God.
Yeah.
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 You've got
But
a,
it's
you've got a year.
It's finished. It's a finished rough.
We're talking
moment.
with Ian Wright and Roger O'Donnell of Berlin. You were in at one
yeah,
point.
Berlin. Yeah, Thompson
Were you on
Twins.
Take My Breath Away?
No.
Were you the lead synth guy? That was Moroder, wasn't it? What do you think of Moroder?
Amazing.
Own the most amount? No, that's Vangelis. The most amount of CS80s. Tell me one of the times you've owned a CS80 or
Never owned a
touched
CS80.
it. Have you
Never
played with one?
Never played a CS80.
Really? Not
no.
interested? Isn't
No,
that the
not
synth of
interested.
synths? Are you more
No.
of a valvey
Yes.
old synthy man?
I
CV Gate guy.
definitely lean more towards the American synths
So Moog.
and sequential circuits.
What about the Prophet guy? What's his?
Yeah. Dave Smith.
Dave
I was
Smith.
a good
Yeah.
friend. He was a
Yeah.
super nice guy.
Yeah.
Again, a very avuncular chap
What does
who
avuncular?
died
That's a good
Yeah. What's avuncular mean? That's
like your uncle.
yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Really, like your uncle.
Yeah. Well, like, when you meet somebody, they could be your uncle.
No, this is
Like
a good
when
word.
I met, I did an interview with the drummer from Pink Floyd
Yeah.
for a Ferrari magazine, and I'm like, oh, really?
Wow.
Do I have
Not my words. The words of.
to? Do I really have to do it with? I can't remember his name.
Tiffany Dell.
No, the drummer.
Nick
from,
Mason.
Oh,
Nick
Nick
Mason.
Mason,
Nick. Yeah. Sorry, Nick.
What did Ferrari magazine have you writing about? Just
No,
a
it was
chat?
an interview.
Oh, yeah.
An interview with Nick Mason. I'm like, do I really have to do it with him? But I met him, and he was just like your uncle.
Oh, okay. Were you not expecting him to be like your uncle?
No, I was expecting him to be all sort of prog rock and
Yeah.
Pretentious.
Very
But-
serious.
And quite posh.
yeah.
I was
but
saying
it's
there's not much
I always thought it was posh.
sense
Can
of
I-
humour in the DJ world, and we were talking earlier. We'll get into that. Funniness, funny goths up next.
Okay.
Go on, what were you going to say, Ian?
Well, I was going to say I worked for Hypnosis, the record sleeve people, and we had to do a photo shoot at Nick Mason's house
Yeah.
because it was
Oh, there
for
you
the
go.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah. And was he avuncular?
He wasn't there, but they moved they moved the rug. He wasn't. They moved the rug, and I had to sit on the floor. So I was
Yeah.
sitting on a lovely polished wood floor,
Yeah.
and they got me to move across, and I moved across, and I had my Stussy jeans. Actually, I'm going to tie this in that Roger had given me.
We trying to
And
get
they
some
had-
Stussy gear on
Yeah,
this show
yeah.
today. I'd love
yes,
some.
let's
Would
plug
They
it.
do
I've
great
got a
tracksuits.
wardrobe full of them.
Oh, I really
I'm
would.
going to send you some T-shirts.
Yeah, and some double XL tracksuits. They do it in a nice sort of washed out orange. Anyway, carry on.
You
So
scratch the floor.
I moved across and scratched the floor, and I put this big big.
Oh,
Your Stussy jean rivet did it.
The rivet did it.
The
yeah.
rivet did
The
it.
rose rivets are strong.
Stussy rivets are known to
Yeah.
be
I had
really,
to
really good.
confess, and they said his daughter
I've heard a
said,
lot about the build
Okay.
quality of Stussy
Yeah.
stuff.
A friend of mine borrowed a
What did
guitar
Nick-
back
Did
in
he have
the
to
day.
buff that out? What?
He buffed it.
We'll never-
And I'm going to
Out
come
to
on to
Musca
Rick
Flips.
Wakeman in a minute.
Oh,
'cause,
Rick Wakeman. And
Somebody's saying something about Rick Wakeman. I
Rick
just
Wakeman
want to
and
say,
the 12 Wives of Henry VIII.
I think that Rick Wakeman did so much damage to keyboard playing
Yeah.
that it's taken my
Which
whole
projects
career.
are you talking about? Merlin?
No, just the cape. I like you
Yeah.
say.
Well,
Anybody
he did-
says, "What do you do?" And you say, "I'm a keyboard player," and they're like, "Oh, okay. Where's your cape then?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm not
And
Rick
you-
Wakeman," and I've been doing that my whole life.
He's so funny because that's the thing. It's so serious. If you watch those shows on YouTube of Henry VIII and Merlin and the Knights of the Round Table, all these
Hate it.
concept albums, and he's so serious about it all.
You know,
And it's so Spinal Tap.
all the music that you play on your excellent radio station
Yeah.
is about not playing on the lines, right? It's about playing around the edges. It's the
Yeah.
feel,
Mm.
right? He couldn't play. He couldn't be more white in his playing. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, this is some big gunshots going up here now.
The way he plays, him, Keith Emerson, all those guys, it's horrible. The way they play is truly horrible.
But they had some beautiful songs though, Sweetness and Heart of the Sunrise. It gets very
No, I
complicated.
never listened to any of it.
Really?
Hate it all.
Interesting.
Prog rock. I hate prog rock.
Because Phil said the same. He got sick of it and wanted to play soul music
Yeah, there
basically,
you go.
and left the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
but
horrible.
it is bizarre. How do you get into that 12/18 time signature into a 3/9?
What's that band, Tool?
Yeah, Tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met them once.
What do you know about sacred geometry, Roger O'Donnell?
Nothing. I know about algebra.
But that brings us nicely to The Cure, because there's something so mesmerizingly simple and beautiful about Cure songs.
It's the notes that you don't play that make
Like
the ones...
Untitled is one of
Yeah.
my favourites. I can listen to that over and over
Yeah,
again.
Simon wrote that.
And that's so
Harmonium, yeah, beautiful. When
That's
I-
the simplest melody ever. Like
When I came to The Cure, I had to learn how to not play things
yeah,
because it's all about what you leave out.
yeah,
So that's, it was... Boris and I came from the same background, and we were in jazz fusion bands and, soul bands. And we had to... In fact, when I joined, Robert said it had taken him 2 years to mould Boris into a Cure drummer.
yeah,
And now he said, I've got to start all over again with you, haven't I?
yeah.
Because we're in a pub. No, we're in a bar in Belgium,
Yeah.
and some fusion was on. I think it was Billy Cobham. And Boris and I were singing the solo because we knew it. And Robert was just rolling his eyes going,
Sat there.
I can't believe I've got another one
Yeah.
in the band.
Yeah.
So,
And how long did it take to strip you away?
yeah,
'Cause this is famously what Miles said to the guitarist from and he said, just play the guitar
Yeah.
like you've never picked
Yeah.
it up before.
Yeah.
And the guy, it's from the band that was, who's the guitarist? It wasn't Pat Metheny.
Yeah.
I think almost...
John McLaughlin?
Yes, John McLaughlin.
Yeah.
He said, you're playing too much. You know, put that
Amazing
guitar down, pick it
guitarist.
back up, and don't touch, touch it like you just picked it up for the
Yeah.
first time. And John McLaughlin said, this is the best, you got the best out of me I ever heard,
Yeah, well, Mars was... that's what he was good at, wasn't he? I mean, the stories of Herbie Hancock, and he walks in and there's a Rhodes piano.
Yeah.
And Herbie goes, what's that? And Mars was like, well, just sit down and play it.
Yeah.
And you'll find out. And just those sort of things. But going back to John McLaughlin,
Yeah.
when Mahavishnu Orchestra released that album, a friend of mine called Chris Garlick, strange name, but real, true, not a stage name.
Lovely name. That.
And he said, "You got to hear this. You got to hear this band. It's half rock and half jazz." And at the time, you have to remember, back then there was no such thing as fusion or crossover. And I said, "What are you talking about? Jazz and rock?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Just listen to it." And I couldn't believe it. And I always think to myself that we're so lucky that we went through that era and we heard those kind of that, when fusion started, and then jazz funk. Like I remember reading an interview of Herbie, and he said, we did this album and we were sitting around and we're thinking, are we funky? And everybody just started laughing because it's like the funkiest thing you've ever heard.
Yeah.
But great, amazing times. And John McLaughlin, in that, making jazz that aggressive, adding that rock, side.
So did
to
that
it.
come before or after On the Corner by Miles? Because that was...
Well, I don't know. Actually, I think In a Mountain Flame must have been 72.
If you would... What's the saying? If you can remember it, you weren't there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Can we have Untitled now?
Another Cure.
Come on, I love this one.
All right, come on then.
The simplicity of it, it's to make the point about...
Oh, less is more.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's cleared by Roger. This will be the last one.
Thanks.
Yeah? Okay. Sorry, Roger. That's what I was going. He's been with Berlin, Thompson Twins, Psychedelic Furs.
There's another one. Oh, Arthur Brown.
Oh, you started with Arthur Brown.
Yeah,
that's
that's
where you
right,
left Ian at art college
Yeah.
alone.
Oh, yeah,
and you
true.
went and joined
Yeah.
Arthur Brown.
Yeah, he left me
And then you
alone.
I
finally
left
ended
him
up in The
crying.
Cure. It's Roger O'Donnell from The Cure is the point I'm trying to make.
There's always one I forget.
There was also, wasn't there a record called
Prefab Sprout.
Monkey Chop?
Oh, Danai.
Danai.
Oh,
that
that's
was
great.
it.
Was that you?
You toured with him, I think.
He asked me to join. And I was like, I'm busy. And then Thursday night, Top of the Pops comes on, and he's on it. And I'm like, what?
That was a big career arc. Very quick.
Yeah. And then, so then I joined him after that.
Yeah.
And did some recording. He was a great guy. I wonder what's happened to him.
Did he only do that one
Yeah,
tune?
Monkey Chop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Had a
great
lovely sound to
song.
it. What synth was that on there? Do you remember?
That was a mini mook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can play that.
Yeah.
Should we play? Let's have this. Come on. Let me have it, Roger.
What? Oh, this is Untitled from
And
the
you're saying it's
album
written by...
Disintegration.
Yeah.
The actual demo, the original demo, is written by Simon,
Yeah.
and its sample is the harmonium, which is prominent throughout it. And the sample is from. So we just got the E2 emulator synth, and we got this sample library called Universe of Sounds.
Yeah.
And virtually every sound on the album is from that. Yeah. My dad, 82.
Wow. Just so many more amazing stories off mic again.
Kim in Brighton, your dad, 82, good age.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll all aspire to that.
I want to.
Listening in, he loves The Cure. See, and he's 82. You think he'd know better, wouldn't you?
Well, I was thinking that about... I was just in Prague watching some beautiful jazz by a band with a combined age of about 400. And I was thinking the same with goths. Goths don't have a time limit on...
No.
Jazz and goths, you could be playing at 80.
Yeah, but if you think about it, the first goths were born in, let's say, 1950.
Yeah.
So they're not that old yet.
No.
Well, wait a minute. Hang on. Kim in Brighton's dad
is a goth.
Is he a goth? Because that would be well cool.
Yeah, they ended the Roman Empire.
Is he? That's true. Is he still dyeing his hair black?
You
I
did say that
stopped.
the production. Give a shout out to the engineer on that. You said
Dave Allen,
Dave
who
Allen.
produced
It's such a beautiful
Disintegration. Great ear, great mind.
You said he chopped 48 track.
Oh yeah,
multi-track
so we
in
recorded
half.
it on two 24-track
This is for the Cure fans. Tell
machines
that
slaved
fact.
together.
Yeah,
And the start of Pictures of You,
yeah,
Robert decided that the intro wasn't long enough.
yeah.
So back in those days, you just recorded it again onto another bit of tape and then chopped it up and stuck it in. It's crazy. Like
And
on a 24-track machine.
Shall we
That's
play the intro of Plain Song?
no,
We're not
2
allowed.
inches, 2-inch tape. That's a big bit of sellotape.
You had to get a big bit of scissors, strong scissors to get through that. Was it?
Razor blade.
Did you stay well away from all that, or were you
What,
over
the
his
tech
shoulder
stuff?
just watching?
I was
mean,
just
just looking at a 48,
steady with that. Dave.
48 track desk is impressive. All
Yeah,
those
well, you see them.
VU meters and
They're still in studios. They're
Yeah.
sort of gathering dust in the
get
corner.
that Navy sound.
Yeah, they're well. But the problem with
Trident.
he's just blurting out names now.
Yeah.
I tell you the
Spend a lot of
saddest,
time on reverb.
the
Funky
saddest
Junk.
thing
Shout to Funky Junk.
about not recording to tape
Yeah.
is in the old days, if you got a gold disc, you'd get an award from Ampeg, the tape manufacturers, Ampex,
Mm.
and it was a golden reel. I've got one.
Nice.
Yeah.
But have you played the Golden Reel and found out it was a Beastie Boys album? You know, they played their gold
I was
disc and it
telling
was-
somebody that yesterday.
Yeah. Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you play your Golden Reel then?
No.
Who was it? No. So it's solid gold, just spray painted.
Spray painted, so I would have melted it down.
Yeah, gold's going through the
What
roof.
did I
hasn't
just got another award for something and somebody said, "Oh, you're going to melt that down?"
it? Yeah.
Oh, it was from Apple. They
Oh, yeah.
gave us this sort of. I thought it was a new computer, but it was in the shape of a Mac Mini,
Right.
solid block of gold.
Oh, I was hoping to
That
say
you're
platinum
in,
there.
not really. That you're in their top 100 albums
Of the year or the
of all time.
of all time? Which one
Yeah.
was that? Disintegration.
Yes.
Did you know when you were making that you were on to something?
No.
Was the studio all black and lit by candlelight?
No.
Was there red silk in the gloom?
No. It was.
Was there any cobwebs?
Not a single.
No cobwebs?
The cleaners were very.
There was no candlelight and...
no candlelight.
So did you know from the first... Who played the first song in the pre-album listening?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
Were they all just making the cut, or was it a struggle to get there?
Well, I didn't get a song on the album. I got a B-side.
What B-side did you get?
It's called Fear of Ghosts.
Yeah.
Were
there ghosts in the studio?
No, but in Boris's house there were.
Oh yeah, did you see it?
No, but everybody felt it.
Really?
But the-
Cold.
It may have been that the local bakers where we used to get pizzas from, these two gay guys, and they put
gay
magic
pizza
mushrooms
makers.
on
No way.
without telling us.
Really? Did they
So-
know you were the Cure at the time?
I think it was a bit obvious.
Was it the eyeliner?
We were the only people who were sticking up black hair in the village.
So they weren't wigs then?
No.
You were like Kraftwerk, you went out in the outfit.
No, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
We lived the life.
But Robert gets de-wigged. We were talking about that.
Yeah,
off air.
but that was because he cut his hair.
He looks a bit like Ben Affleck without the hair on.
He cut his hair twice, I think, because after Disintegration, we made a pact that we were all going to cut our hair,
Yeah.
and some of us did, and the others didn't. And they're like, "Ah, you cut your hair."
That's terrible.
So we ate these pizzas.
Yeah, okay.
And we were all tripping. It was the weirdest thing, and we didn't know. We were all like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, that's not cool,
it was
guys.
called Poppins.
Poppins Pizzas.
Poppins the Bake in Winkley.
So basically, who was it with the ghosts?
Oh, Boris's house.
Boris already had a sense of ghosts, or the ghost showed up while the pizza was being eaten?
Okay, so I've lost track of the story. So I
Yeah.
played him this song, and he said, "Oh, it sounds like the soundtrack from that film, Fog."
Oh yeah, great, John Carpenter.
So Fog, F-O-G.
He's good on Simps.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So then Robert, we do the song, he sings it, and he calls it Fear of Ghosts,
Yeah.
F-O-G.
Wow.
I always thought that was well weird.
That's amazing.
See, there's the ghost.
That was the ghost helping.
And Robert told me once that was in his top 10 favourite Cure songs.
Is Fear of Ghosts?
Yeah, and it's a B-side to...
Can we play it now then?
if
Will you
can
allow
find
that?
It.
Come on.
Can't we have some like...
What
you
would
know.
you want, more Herbie Hancock? No, come on, let's.
I
dig
thought
up
we were going to
Roger.
listen. I thought we were
want
going to
some
listen
Zappa?
to Jacko.
We could have some Jacko after.
All right,
We
then.
have to have. Here it is.
Oh yeah, it's the B-side to Love Song,
All
right? So Love Song went
Perfect.
to number 2 in the US charts.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of the B-side.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
In what country?
The US. It was Janet Jackson, Madonna, The Cure. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. The Cure has done that consistently through its life. It's a huge band that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's an
Is-
anomaly.
Yeah, it is an anomaly. How would you explain the anomaly?
Well, I'll have to go into mathematics and...
Yeah.
s-
Okay, so you're
spiritual.
saying your B-side put it up behind.
Yeah, exactly. It was nothing to do with Love Song. It was
No, it's
Fear
not
of
love song. Let's hear
Ghosts.
this. Let's hear some real goth music. Lovely. Bit moody, that one, Roger.
Yeah, it's from my moody period. Actually,
Angsty.
my name for that demo was The Other Side, because I was living in Toronto at the time, and I could see across the lake from my apartment
Tell us about your time in.
in Toronto.
Yeah,
Yeah, interesting.
yeah.
As a shopkeeper.
Yeah, as a
As a
shopkeeper. Yeah, I was quite snotty as a shopkeeper. I remember this woman came in and she said she was a journalist, and she was being really snotty, and she's like, "Well, I think I might try something." So I stood back, and I looked at her from head to toe, and I said, "I don't think we've got anything to suit you in this shop."
Ooh. Wow.
And then
Sounds like you. Or
she
maybe
really
it's-
rubbed me up the wrong way. But then we would have things in cases, like really special shirts and special limited edition things in these like glass cases, and people would say, "Oh, that's a nice shirt. How much is that?" And I'd say, "It's not for sale." So I kind of started that thing, you know, where people would queue up.
Oh yes.
That whole,
Okay, so-
whole snotty thing.
And then Malcolm McLaren and Vivian stole that from you.
Yeah, they stole it from
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't bother with the bondage stuff.
No, we didn't have any bondage.
Why didn't goths cross over into bondage wear?
That's a
What
good
is the
question.
goth
point.
aesthetic, would you say? It's
Uh,
very stylish. I think it stood the test of time. You guys look great on stage.
You know what the key to being a goth is?
Black t-shirt.
Yeah, but the key is, what happens to a black t-shirt?
It fades to grey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was having dinner with a bunch of goths one night, and they let me into a little secret.
Which goths?
Dylon.
Dylon.
Yeah,
The
they're
dye.
forever re-dyeing their clothes
Just chucking in a tin of Dylon
in
every
the
wash.
washing machine.
Whereas I'm putting a white bag of Stay White.
Yeah,
You're
Stay White.
adding Stay Black.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is it. And I was like, it was a revelation to me.
Really? And now is all of this Dylon? Because you are wearing...
I'm not wearing black. Look, this
Oh,
is grey. These are jeans.
That is not grey. That is grey.
Yeah,
wow.
grey.
I don't wear
Shade
any,
of
any
black.
black. But I've decided to let you on the station. I'm trying to do the Instagram post so people know it's actually happening. Okay, now you want some Jacko.
Yeah, come on.
You've been waiting all show for some Jacko. Okay, here we go. Jacko Pastorius, Donna Lee.
Yeah,
Great album. Great taste, Roger.
thanks.
That's very funny because that is exactly like what's in the Ry Cooder
Yeah.
was in the band, started the Captain Beefheart, and Captain Beefheart ruined every gig to the point that Ry Cooder walked off, said, "I've had enough."
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, when you think about it, people in bands have all got different characters, but this is a very broad generalization.
Yeah,
The characters of each instrument
yeah. Oh yes, tell us.
are always keyboard players are always the same. They're
What are they?
Neat,
Introverts?
tidy,
Friendly,
friendly,
avuncular.
just happy to be there.
yeah.
But then, see, if I do that about any of the other instruments,
Come on,
I'm going to
carry
get
it on.
in trouble.
But do you think that's to do with the ease of... Because a synth can be a bit of a beast to get around, but still it's kind of a...
Well, it's like you like technology,
Yeah.
right? Because all keyboard
You,
instruments.
you
have got a
did
lot of
say
tech.
casually that you did the Cure's first website as well, so that
Oh, yeah.
story does work.
Yeah.
You're a
I've
bit of a
always-
nerd.
Bit of a nerd.
Do you
always
like
been into
soldering?
tech. I love soldering because I used to race slot cars.
Oh, God, I love that. I've
Yeah.
got one down...
Have you got a track?
But I
downstairs?
really never got good at soldering.
I love
and
soldering.
Do you know about metaling the
It's
tip?
about
What's
the
it-
flux.
Yeah, the flux and... What's it called when you do the tip?
Yeah.
Tin the tip.
Tin the tip. Yeah.
You have to do that?
Yeah, and you need a Weller soldering gun.
A Weller so
Yeah.
you wouldn't bother with the pen
No,
type,
you
the
need a
Draper.
proper one.
And Ian's listening to his grime music.
So bass players.
No, but wait, we're
Wait,
deep
we're
in the
back on
soldering chat.
soldering.
Oh, God.
If you're a keyboard player, so you have to re-solder your jack plugs, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
A friend of mine, actually, this guy called Brian, who does incredible beats, and we collaborate on stuff. He re-solders and remakes synthesizers.
Right.
He's always got like I see pictures, and he's got like an E2 emulator
Yeah.
in bits, and he's soldering it all back together.
Oh, an E2 emulator, the famous
incredible.
Loon
Great
sample on
sound.
there, yeah. And the
Depeche Mode used them a lot.
Shaka, I don't know if the Cure ever used it, the Habachakshi flute setting, the
Shakuhachi.
Shakuhachi
Yeah.
flute.
Yeah, it's on everything.
Did you squeeze
If-
that in a Cure track?
If only tonight we could sleep. There's that. Is there?
Oh, okay.
That I play. I didn't play. It was before my time, but I play that also in.
What was the case with the Shakuhachi? Everyone, you'd hear it
it's
on an Annie
beautiful.
Lennox track, and you
Yeah.
would just think it worked because it's in the X-Files. It shows up.
Yeah, it's also on Fascination Street on the Cure. Actually, I was at a
You've used it in 2 records.
I was at a Kodo Drummers concert
Of course.
in Athens,
Yeah.
and the Shakuhachi flute guy starts walking around the amphitheater.
Not the original guy that was sampled.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I think
And
it
he
was
he just does that one melody.
one bit.
Can you
that's it.
recreate it for people that have no idea what we're talking about?
No.
No. But anyway, so the synth guys are friendly,
Keyboard
happy-go-lucky,
players,
nerdy.
Yeah, apart from Rick Wakeman and Keith Emerson.
Yeah. And then let's go next to drummers.
Drummers.
I mean,
yeah.
maniacs.
Yeah, very physical.
Very physical.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Keith Moon, John Bonham.
Okay, this
Baker.
this excludes any drummers that I've ever personally worked with. Right?
Yeah.
They're not the brightest in the band.
Really, not the sharpest.
Not the sharpest tool in the band.
But what does that say about rhythm and
Well,
lovemaking?
Well, you don't have to be bright, do you?
No.
To
Yeah.
do either of those things.
No. No. And is it the stupider you are, the better?
Ian's wincing.
The
I think we're disturbing his sensibilities. Oh, because he was a drummer.
No, I had a drum kit once.
Yeah.
I
What?
wasn't a drummer. I wasn't.
Should I get the drum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it though.
Okay, moving on from
Yeah.
the sex
Bass players.
Yeah.
Also
What about bass
excluding
players?
any bass player I've ever known.
'Cause-
They have to overcompensate because they've only got 4 strings,
Yeah.
right? So they don't feel really, they tend to be like dressing room lawyers. They're always getting in. There's always shit going on with
Right.
them. And then lead guitarists.
Wait, what? There's always
What?
shit going on with bass. They're having a
They
fight in the dressing
always
room?
cause trouble.
Really?
They're like,
I had Jar Wobble
oh,
on. He is a total mischief.
He's got a great name though.
He's great.
He's a
Have you
good
met
bass
Jar?
player.
He's
No,
amazing.
Great bass player.
He had a difficult session. He said, "Yeah, I got up and pissed in his desk," and I was so happy to hear that because I had met that guy and he needed his desk pissing in.
Good.
Yeah.
So like this
So
guy,
that proves your point.
Yeah.
You're 3 for 3 at the moment.
So bass players, they'll always lose you the gig because they'll
Right.
go to the lead singer that you got the gig with, and they're like, "Look, we need more money."
Yeah.
And the lead singer go, "Okay, you're fired."
Yeah.
That's happened to me several times.
Mutinies.
Actually, a bass player threw his amp at me once.
Jesus.
I forgot about that.
They can get pretty big.
Yeah, it was a big amp.
Why you? You were surely
I was
on
being
his song.
nice. I was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
typical
Of course
keyboard
you were
player.
being nice.
I probably told him he was playing it wrong.
Yeah. Do you know who was it?
It was in a soul band. I can't remember his name. I can picture
James Jamerson.
He was one of those people that always had a blocked nose.
Right.
And there was like snot running out of his nose.
Wow.
The whole time I knew
Well, a
him.
punk soul guy.
No, he wasn't punk at all.
Wow. Snotty soul boy.
Blonde. I can't remember his name. If you're out there
Fascinating.
and you remember throwing an amp at me, please get in touch.
All right, and this leads us to the lead singers.
Oh,
You're very tricky politically now for you,
very
to be
tricky
honest.
politically.
And of course, this goes without saying that it doesn't involve
I'll
any
I'll talk
lead singers
about.
that you work with.
I'll mention not by name. This absolutely isn't Robert Smith. I'm going to talk about a lead singer. So, a mutual, a sax player who was in a band with this lead singer.
Yeah.
Posted on Facebook. We've had to pull the gig because XXX, the lead singer, is injured, so the gig's cancelled. So I posted under it. What happened? Did he trip over his ego?
Ooh, Roger, that's not very keyboard player of you.
And then he sent me a private message.
Cease
I
and
didn't know
desist.
he was on, and he's like, "Oh, I always thought I was very ego light."
Oh.
I'm like,
He's
this
a
is the
sensitive lead
person
singer.
that I've told people anecdotes about for the last 40 years.
Yes.
About he is absolutely the most massive ego that I ever worked with. And he said to me, "Oh, I always thought I was ego light."
Yeah.
But, you know,
But often people with big egos don't have much self-awareness.
true.
And now we're going to play a record, and you're going to tell me who that is off mic. And if you would like to find out, please PayPal
Send in
£20.
postcards.
Yeah. I wonder
Yeah.
who it could be.
And
Ian's looking mischievous.
I'll tell you the anecdotes about him.
Okay.
Off mic.
Off mic.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this is great. Right, so Ian, what should we play? Yeah. You've been playing loads of stuff on your phone while I've been trying to interview Roger O'Donnell of The Cure. What have you been playing your GIFs?
Oh, is it GIFs or is it GIFs?
I don't know. I say GIF, but I have heard GIF. Ian's GIFing away there.
We were talking about that earlier, how you pronounce Moog.
Yeah.
Which it really is Moog.
I know it is Moog, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sound right.
No, but if you're English and you say Moog, everybody is like, "Oh, so you're so pretentious."
Yeah, I know.
It's like Nikon and Nikon.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Porsche and Porsche.
Dionne Warwick is still the worst. Hi, Sinead. Ian's going to play a song now. Come on, Ian. You've been sitting there making loads of sounds. We thought we both ended the... Very funny, this. Has your mind gone blank? Can we have another Cure record?
No!
Properly gone blank.
Not allowed. We're not allowed Cure records. Tell us about your time in Psychedelic Furs while he looks for a
Oh,
record.
we could play psychedelic first.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very interesting... You know that expression, wood for the trees?
No. And what's one there for the birds as well? I like that saying, but I don't use it.
When I was in them, I never realised how good they were.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
don't sound like you like many of the bands you were involved with. Are you the one with
no,
the
I love them
ginormous
all.
ego?
I love them all.
Were you better than all of them?
No, absolutely.
Were you the
not.
one that gave them the magic?
No, when I went for the audition for
Yeah.
Psychedelic Furs, it was in Woodstock. They were making an album.
Wow.
And I walked, Richard, so I was chatting with the others, and Richard walked in, he's like, "Is that an English accent I hear?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Right, you got the job." So that was that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I read a lot of rock star, band, musician autobiographies. And
do you?
Yes, and in quite a few of them, they mention this idea that it's sort of against your will. Like when a good band comes together, like the members that make sense, doesn't matter how much they hate each other or how dysfunctional it is,
Yeah.
that band unit goes the distance.
Yeah.
Certain formations can
Yeah.
work much better, and people can like each other. It doesn't mean anything. They can fall apart in months, but it's this weird thing that kind of glues
Yeah, I
people
mean, when you
together.
think about it, well,
against the odds a lot of times.
you get, although I would imagine, like I've never really been in a band from the beginning.
No.
So, like, you'd think at the beginning they were just mates, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But I've always joined bands and I'm like, if I wasn't in a band with you, I don't imagine that I would ever spend any time with you.
Yeah.
I remember Jason said once on tour.
So you're more of a session guy.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, Jason said, "It's so nice to be around, with all your mates." I'm like, "Oh, when are they turning up?" And he didn't. I'm like, we're kind of workmates, but actually, Jason and I he's like my younger brother.
Yeah.
We're very close. So
No, but I mean that is a thing, isn't it? People from the outside want to look in and think it's this amazing, but it's often not the case
I
at all.
think when you're younger, we used to be together all the time. We used to work. We'd
Who,
have
you
a
and Ian?
No, yeah. Well, we were at art school together,
Yeah.
but the band, we'd live in the same house.
Yeah.
And then we'd be on tour.
Yeah.
But I think as you get older, you grow apart, don't you?
Yeah.
You
It's
have
a natural.
more lives.
You have a life, yeah.
You,
Yeah, we didn't have a life.
No, but your life changes naturally, I think.
Is
Yeah.
that good or bad?
I think it's natural. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Yeah. Must have had some great times though.
Yeah, well,
Camaraderie,
yeah. When it's you against the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you put out an album, and it's like, I remember when Disintegration came out, and I think it was Lullaby, the first. I don't know. No, that wasn't the first single. But anyway, we were all together and we were listening to the chart show.
Yeah.
Because if it went top 10, that would meant that we had to do Top of the Pops the next Thursday, which was it was exciting even then.
Yeah.
And we were and it was like we weren't in the top 30, the 20 to 30, and then it got 10 to 20. Oh no! So we're like, oh, maybe it didn't chart at all.
Mm.
And then it went in like number 8, and we're like, yes!
Wow.
And it's like because it is quite competitive, or
Yeah.
it used to be. I don't think it is anymore.
No.
I don't think we are anymore. I like when you think of the days of Oasis and Blur and the Beatles and the Stones and what other great.
No, that reminds me.
rivalries.
I wanted to. I'm never going to find it, but it was. I follow. You get sucked into all these sort of history pages, and there was a chart of 1972, and it is insane.
Oh.
What I was thinking of doing a show of just all of the records on there because it was.
It was a great time.
It's unbelievable. Obviously, it's gone missing. What happens to all these screenshots?
The Cure versus New Order, somebody says. I've actually recently become friends with, what's his name? I'm such good friends with, I can't remember his name. The guitarist.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to buy a car and I was advising him on what to get. And we were chatting the other day. Because he listened to the new record.
Oh yeah.
What is his name?
I don't know the guitarist of
New Order.
New Order, but not Bernard.
Yeah, Bernard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and Bernard seem quite similar.
Yeah, he's a
actually.
really nice bloke.
Yeah, he seems very nice.
I couldn't believe how strong his Manchester accent was.
Really?
You'd think after all these, I don't know why,
Yeah.
because my accent hasn't really changed, but you'd think,
Yeah.
but he's a lovely guy, really nice. We've only met them a couple of times. I think,
Such great tunes.
I think Joy Division opened for The Cure back in the day.
Wow.
And my friend produced that film, Control.
That's a
which is
great.
great film.
Yeah, it's great.
And my other mate, Toby, is their manager.
Oh yeah.
He's the best. I get it. You know that bit where he says on the phone, I get it. Joy. Do whatever.
Yeah.
Tapering off there.
I'm thinking, how does it? Do you know when you're in a band, right, and the gig's going really bad, but you're not getting on, versus the gig going really bad, but you're in a band that you all get on. That must be a very. Do you just go to war with each other after a set if you're not getting on and the gig was bad, and if it was if you were in a band that was tight and the gig was good, I guess it brings you closer. It's quite interesting, the dynamics of.
It's all about keeping it going, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you, it's difficult if you don't get on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not really a band that overly interacts with each other musically because we just play the parts. We don't improvise.
Yeah.
I would imagine that if you're in a band where you're playing off each other, it would be very, very difficult if you hated somebody's guts. But I read stories about the end of My Vision Orchestra
Yeah.
where basically it was just war. They all just turned up to number 12 and they just played as loud and as fast as they could, and it was just destruction.
And was there review? What would the audience make of that? Could they
They
tell?
probably loved it, wouldn't they?
This is the most famous case. Is Sam and Dave hated each other and never spent any time with each other for decades. Just showed up, sang, melted hearts, and then left separately.
My first tour of America, opening for the Police in 1983.
Oh wow, that drum is hilarious.
Hated each other.
Yeah.
They would arrive in separate limos, and they would be actually physically fist fighting backstage. Because the first show that we saw, I think Sting had a black eye, and it was like madness. And they're the biggest band in the world at that time. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, playing music together, it doesn't. You're still people. You're still. You still got characters.
Yeah.
And like I said, everybody in the band's got their own particular character depending on what instrument they played. It's weird.
Can we get back to soldering now?
I think that I may have done myself some brain damage from inhaling.
Yeah, but it's such a nice smell.
The smell from the flux.
Yeah, like a Mad Hatter. That was mercury, wasn't it? I don't know what.
Oh, we used to play with that at school.
Oh yeah, when you're allowed to have fun.
On a sort of a asbestos bowl.
Before woke.
We're not going there, are we?
Yeah.
Right, Frank Zappa.
I thought
Ian's queued some up.
Well, but I don't know which one to choose, so I don't know enough.
Don't you?
No.
I've got the beautiful one. You know, the long one. Easter Hay. Depends. Which one do you want?
Little Umbrellas.
Yeah.
Play that. That's a good song. It's from the Hot Rats album.
We need snacks. I'm going to go and get us some. Is this a long Frank Zappa opus? Okay. You want to introduce this one?
Yeah, it's from Frank Zappa's. This was after he disbanded the Mothers, and it was sort of a solo album. And don't know if I've got this the right way around, but there's Hot Rats and there's Hot Rats 2, which is called Wacka Jawacka, which is much later. One of them was entirely scored, so they didn't have any improvisation on it. I think it might be this one, but it's a great band and a great cover as well. There's a remix version of this where they play the intro of it and they do the counting. I love hearing those bits.
That was lovely. Great selection there from Roger. Some Zappa. Did you ever go and see Zappa?
Many times. Many times. Oh, my own.
Oh, no, yeah. Good point.
I saw Frank many times. As I was saying earlier, I was out waiting outside the Rainbow, Finsbury Park, to see him in 1972 when he was pushed off stage. And then I saw him all the way through until 1984. The last time I saw him was at the Palace in Hollywood. And actually it was Ian that told me that he died. Ian sent me an email to let me know.
It's very nice of you, Ian.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, yeah.
The harbinger
but that's interesting, that, because Frank Zappa is known as a bit of a musical
genius.
And, when a guitar, I want to say the W word, but onanism, a little bit, the Black Sheets. You already had your tirade against Rick. You've upset the prog community. Why does Frank Zappa get away with it?
Because he did it with humour.
Yeah. Yeah, he did have a sense of humour.
And he also, he was the first artist or band that I ever got into. Maybe Jimi Hendrix was slightly before him. But then Frank took me on a musical journey, like into jazz. So he's the biggest influence on me, on my music. And sometimes I hear it come out and I'm like, oh yeah, a bit of Frank.
Because that story of when the band used to dread coming in. They used to call it the Black Sheets, where he would come in and it was so full, the staves, and he heard them saying that once, so he thought, right, I'm coming in and I'm going to destroy them. And then there's YouTube videos of there's these nerds trying to learn it and play it properly.
Oh, it's incredible.
Do you you don't like time signature changes? What are they talking about? Microtonal, where it's between breaking up a bar into.
I saw a piano on Instagram the other day that was a microtonal piano.
Right.
So it's got the normal keyboard where an octave is split into 12
Yeah.
equal parts, and then there's another little keyboard above it where each semitone is split in half again.
But this is
I don't like
microtonal
microtonal.
in drumming sense, right? Is that right? Have I got the wrong term
That
there?
would just be micro
What did he call
time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that is terrible. Look, there's that. You're nearly killed by a fan. You were there at that
Yeah.
gig.
Yeah, I was
Ended
there. I
up
was
in the
waiting
orchestra
outside
pit.
to go in, and he was in traction for a year.
And you were saying it was a jealous girlfriend
a jealous
boyfriend.
boyfriend
shoved him off the front.
shoved him off the stage.
And I've never been in the Rainbow. I've met a lot of people that used to
I
sneak
haven't.
in there as kids.
I've never
Oh, so
been
you
in
never
there.
got in because the
Never
gig
got
was
in.
cancelled.
It's cancelled, yeah.
So it must be a huge drop there.
Yeah, into the orchestra pit.
Are you a fan of classical music?
I am.
Because I read, did you know Wagner built this giant, perfect auditorium to listen to classical?
Did he? Where?
In Munich or somewhere, I don't know. And it's just got the biggest orchestra pit of all time. It's a huge, like, brutalist building with the best acoustics. And I just, all I can remember, it looks like an Olympian, I might have made this up in my brain, but
That's
it looks
all right.
like an Olympian diving board from the stage down to the
Yeah, it's
orchestra
the-
pit. So I was just thinking if you fell from there, like a scene from Metropolis or something.
I've written for a chamber orchestra.
How did
and
that go?
also, it was amazing. And I also write for small ensembles. And I've done some ballet. I have a full classical ballet in the works based on the picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, when's that coming? Where will it be
Well,
shown?
I don't know. It's a hugely expensive endeavour to, and you don't recoup. So
How much does a ballet dancer cost? What do you-
they cost a lot of money. A lot of money.
Can I get a backstage pass to the?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give up on trying to see the Cure and try and see the ballets.
It's I've been to a lot of backstage ballet things, and it's just compared to being at a rock show, where it's like flight cases and gaffer tapes and
Yeah.
mic stands and all
It's
that.
all like powdered
rubbish.
faces and big
Yeah,
corsets.
it's just nice. It's like people stretching and putting
Yeah.
shoes on and.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I met
Ballets.
this guy once in LA, and he's a Russian pianist. He said to me, "You are a dancer." I'm like, "No, I'm not.
You do look like it. You've got a
yeah,
live.
I'm standing in the
Yeah,
first
you are.
position."
Yeah, you are. Or like a Freemason greeting your brother
Yeah,
on the square.
he's not a Freemason.
No, you're a dancer.
Yeah, no, I said, "No, I'm not a dancer, mate." He said, "No, you are a dancer." I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Have you been in any films? He's got quite a face on him, hasn't he? He looks
Have I been in any
got some
films?
cheekbones that would look good in a film.
I don't think I have actually. I've scored a
didn't-
film
Yeah.
recently.
Didn't David get you into some
The
films?
Duke?
Yeah, the Duke. Your friend Dave.
No, I watched The Last Emperor the other night. Talking of
Yeah.
the connection, Ryuichi Sakamoto.
Oh, Ryuichi.
Yeah, I didn't actually think the music was very good,
Oh.
but you know.
I was just going to say,
Oh,
let's have
he's
some
great,
Ryuichi.
but, you
Yeah,
know.
he's amazing.
But I scored a film recently with Dustin Hoffman in it
Wow.
and Sissy Space.
Oh, really?
Sec.
What, aren't they both dead?
I do the cover for that?
Oh yeah. Because
What
we
film is this?
released an album. It's called Sam and Kate.
When did this come out? A long time ago.
2020.
I thought
Two.
Sissy Spacek was long.
No, she's still alive, and her daughter was in it, and so was Dustin Hoffman's son,
Wow,
playing their respective roles.
that's wonderful.
Yeah. And I played most of it on an instrument called the... Oh, God, I can't remember. It's like a muted piano thing.
Do you know the work of Bill Nelson?
Yeah. Oh.
I-
Stolen Moments. Come on.
What are you talking about? Stolen Moments from Art of Noise?
No.
No.
Oh, wait. Bill Nelson, the guitarist?
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of?
He likes synths.
Stolen Moments.
Stolen Moments is Art of Noise, isn't it? Dun, dun,
No,
dun.
it's... I could sing it to you.
Go on, let's
No, I'm
sing.
not
Um,
Oliver Nelson, that's right.
Oliver Nelson.
She's alive and making films with Robert Redford.
Wow.
Oliver Nelson, yeah, Stolen Moments. That is a classic song.
All right, let's have that next.
Yeah. It's like big band, but not big. And he also makes these vinyl weights. Yeah, it's just made the weight. The brush is 300 euros. It's
What the hell?
We're just saying how Ian has been just constantly trying to derail this interview, texting, and playing the other YouTube.
That's my signature, always cutting in something
Gifting.
badly.
Yeah, and I was asking Roger if you were like this at college, Ian. You're a bit of a troublemaker in the class.
I wasn't happy, actually.
You weren't happy? Is that what you blame it on?
Yeah.
The endless detentions on
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't help being the bad boy, is
Not
what
my
you're
best
saying.
time.
Is this why you were attracted to him, just the bad boy in the back of the class? Ian, was he on detention a lot?
Well, it was art school, so we didn't really get detention.
No.
It was constant
We used to
non-detention.
spend a lot of time in the canteen
Yeah,
eating too much food.
toast. And they had
Toast.
these really good
I think it
buns.
should be
And
time
these
for you two
buns.
to reminisce while I go and get us croissants or something.
Croissant would be good.
croissants. That sounds good.
How can we get it? How can we get the best out of you two? Best Ian and Roger times from fifth.
What I was thinking about was that after I left art school and obviously was doing music, and I regret leaving, although Ian always says that I did the right thing, but that
We regret leaving because
it was really, it was a very prestigious school and it was very difficult to get into it at the time.
what, Camberwell?
Ian, London College of Printing.
No,
He's shaking his head.
Shaking my head.
It was.
It wasn't prestigious.
It was very prestigious, and I just left to join a band.
But you were given an ultimatum.
No, I wasn't.
Weren't you?
No,
I thought you were. I thought they said do graphics or play music.
no.
Really?
Although they didn't
Wow.
really encourage me, I just didn't.
I thought you needed to take time off, and they didn't.
No, I didn't ask. I just left.
Oh, okay.
But
then you got a scooter. You got a scooter.
yeah, but
you?
I'm trying to be artistic and
Okay.
creative here. So when
you
when I talk about what I was trying to do in music, it always interested me that what we were trying to achieve creatively, even though it was in two completely different disciplines, was very similar. That sort of striving to create, and I've always kept that with me. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're a painter or a musician or a photographer. That creative end goal is always the same.
Yeah, that's very true.
So that's the end of the profound
No,
bit
no,
of the
no, no, no,
broadcast.
no.
We can go back to anecdotes now.
Screen, please.
PG tips, please.
Yeah, I was still trying to find my way. I didn't find my way at college at all, really. I had a better time when I left.
It was very strict course, but it was
very
graphics.
straight.
Yeah, it was very.
That's the thing, and it wasn't that the time. In the middle of that, all punk came along.
Yeah,
So
it was a disruptive
kind
time.
of, the year below us were much more punky and sort of
But
bit more attitude.
the
my-
tutors didn't react to that, did they? They
No.
weren't reactive. They were just doing what they'd
They were
always done.
Always done. Yeah.
But then there's something
Wasn't
to be said
progressive.
for having a formal background that allows you then to do something abstract.
Or to give you more freedom.
Yeah, well, that's always said in music,
Right.
but I'm not sure if that's true.
No, because sometimes it's hard to break habits, as you said earlier about Robert trying to get you to play less.
Yeah,
So it is about, less is. I mean, it's corny, isn't it? Less is more, but it depends how
it's like when you write,
meaningful it is.
when you do something really cool in a song, and you just do it once. Is it better just to do it once, or is it better just to bang it in there like 10 times? Because I think it's not always obvious, and sometimes it's just nice if you just hear it once and you go, oh yeah, but then you have to play the song 10 times. Whereas if you'd done it 10 times,
Can I play a song that proves that point?
Yeah, please.
Go.
You carry on talking.
All right, out to Marnie and out to Martin Hay, who and Anna Reid as well. They were people in the year.
Is Anna listening?
She will be, but she's in Australia.
Oh.
But yeah, Marnie said she'd listen in.
So Martin was in our corner of the,
Yeah,
the studio.
Yeah, Martin Hay. Yeah,
There was me, you.
he was good at
Bernie,
graphics.
Martin. Who else?
And then there was Mike and Martin.
Mike. Yeah.
Mike and Martin. Yeah, and Susan Topping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who went on to be the creative director of a car magazine.
Yeah, but also I think she become like a deep sea diving
Did she?
instructor. Yeah, I think so. Who knew what all these careers come out
Yeah,
of these
interesting.
places.
If we could go back and sit around that table and talk about what we've done.
Well, it was a long time ago. Anyway, Charlie's
School
looking for
reunion.
a particular record.
Have you ever been to a school reunion?
No.
I went because I went to school in the East End, and half of them turned into
Yeah,
villains.
it's Ian.
And I'm like, "What do you do?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in IT, and I." IT being code for being a villain. Yes, it is Ian.
Yeah, it's Ian and Roger and Roger's in the Cure. And Charlie.
Lucky to have Ian Wright on a Monday. Very rare. Very rare.
Yeah, so I won't know what the day of the week is after this.
I'm trying to...
What are you looking for, Charlie?
It's Joan Bibaloni. Here we go. Just this one little bit comes up in this record. And I find it very... And it's a very synth-heavy record.
Oh, is it good?
It's a Spanish man. I'll have to find it. I haven't played it in a while. Oh, my God. You two...
And then, after this, I think we should go back to electric pianos, and we should play 2 songs
Yes.
that show the difference between a Rhodes piano and a Wurlitzer. What do you think of that? That's
Yeah.
pretty nerdy, isn't it?
I would love that.
Yeah. Donny Hathaway
Ooh.
played a Wurlitzer. Anybody gonna type in and say that that's wrong?
Now,
Herbie
this might not be the record because it's been that long, but it is quite nice. But there is just one synth motif out of one other solid synth motif. And just look out for the one, and then we'll have a gossip about the industry off fire. Right, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, we missed it because Roger is too damn interesting. Too many anecdotes per square minute being...
Well, it's 50 years in the business, isn't it?
Roger's got all the stories about everybody. It just went da-doom, da-doom, doom, doom. It was that bit, Roger.
Yeah, I love that bit.
Yeah. Where's your mic gone?
Oh, thanks. Is it turned on?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some strictly worded emails coming from the Rick Wakeman camp after today's show. Someone's saying, I hope this leads to further slurs against the prog community.
Well, the prog community is a slur.
On the face of music.
Yeah, because...
You really don't want to hold back
No,
with
no,
your...
Well, it's everything about prog music is wrong.
Why? You just think it's too overly analytical in a place that shouldn't...
It's just not what music is supposed to be.
But you like Frank Zappa.
Frank's not prog.
I mean...
Frank is turning in his grave right now.
Yeah, but, you know, he loved doing anything complicated to attract for the...
That's not necessarily... that.
Say where Frank is different to prog.
Prog doesn't own complicated.
No.
I mean, look at jazz. Yeah, look at fusion.
Yeah.
Prog is just too white.
Yeah.
You can say that.
Yeah.
Ian's pulling a face.
I don't know.
Ian likes staying on the fence. He's a diplomat.
Not on the fence.
He's a diplomat.
You're a big fan of King Crimson, is what you want to say.
No.
Oh.
No, I did see them, but I liked them a wee bit. I liked early Genesis.
Did you?
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
loved
for
them.
admitting that.
Yeah.
today?
I loved them with Peter Gabriel.
My name's Ian Wright,
Yeah,
and
no, I love
love
early,
Early Genesis.
and I liked a band called Egg as well.
Oh, I saw them a
Yeah,
few years
I
ago.
saw them.
I know Egg.
Yeah, I like them, and I like the Nice, but that was maybe. Oh God. Okay.
No, the nice.
Let's-
The nice isn't prog.
Let's
No,
try
I
and
don't
get out
think.
of this
Anyway,
prog
let's,
beef.
yeah, let's.
Because what
This
you were
is
saying
boring
while
for-
I was
this is
making the
boring
tea
to
was
listen to.
interesting,
Yeah,
was
go on.
that at the end of the day, it's the same outcome. And
Yeah, it's
what
we're
is making
striving.
music on a synth different to doing a nice bit of graphic design at London College of
Yeah,
Print?
exactly.
What is the difference there, though?
That's a
Doesn't one give you more than the other?
no. I
And
think
prog is going about it all the wrong way, is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
Can't take it no further.
Just too much.
Prog is just. Oh.
He won't leave it alone. It's so
No.
the one subject.
Well, look, I mean, you of all radio stations, I would say, is the antithesis of prog.
Do it on the end here.
Of prog.
Yeah, because everything you play
not
has
have
got
a
feel
moment.
to it.
Oh yeah, it has
Yes.
to have feel and it has
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
emotions.
And yeah,
And that's
Exactly.
interesting as well. That's what
Zero emotion.
I
in
read
prog.
an interview with you guys saying that if the emotion is not in there, the music doesn't really work.
No, for me, I'm a
Regarding the Cure.
I'm a very easy, laughing, happy-go-lucky kind of person, and all of my emotions come out in my music.
Yeah.
That's my vehicle for, emoting.
I am known to play Heart of the Sunrise by Yes, though. That is a bum ba-da-na-na, ba-da-da-bum.
See, yes, pretty much sum up everything that's bad. John Anderson, Rick Wakeman. Come on, I don't even know the others' names.
Well, have you ever met each other backstage?
Actually, I met Chris Squire
Yeah.
in a hotel room in about, when would that have been? I don't know, but it was after, and he was like, first of all, first impressions, bass player from Yes, in case anybody didn't know, played a Rickenbacker, which is a very, very prog bass, very twangy,
Yeah.
white bass. You won't hear any funk ever played on a Rickenbacker.
Oh,
So
the
he
Rickenbacker
had
crowd are
massive,
upset now as well.
he had massive hands,
Yeah.
like huge.
Jacko had some big old hands on him as well.
And Jacko had his thumb could go completely backwards,
Yeah.
which allowed him to play different spans and
Yeah.
chords. So Chris Squire is like, it was just after Art of Noise had done that thing with them, and he's like, I'd given up. I'd become a landscape gardener after Yes, because
Really?
when punk came along,
He just went too prog, and it just burnt him out.
and he became a landscape gardener. And
He's
then,
happy now.
and then Art of Noise came along, and they did that song, "Owner of a Lonely Heart,"
Oh, right.
which actually is a
well,
good
that's
song.
Oh, you like that?
That's Trevor Horn, isn't
Trevor
it?
Horn, yeah.
Trevor, the mighty Trevor.
And he was back, and he was really happy
Yeah.
to be back making music again.
Owner of a lonely.
But it was all that sampling, wasn't it? All that, and that was all new at the time, and that was amazing.
There's a very metallic kind of
Yeah.
production on that
Yeah,
record.
with all that,
Oh,
all
yeah.
those orchestral hits.
Yeah, orchestral hits. Are you a fan of the orchestral hit
Yeah, I was back in the day.
when they were analog?
Yeah.
When they had sampled a real orchestra and fit it onto one.
So
Memory
yeah,
card.
prog. I'd be very in favour of burning all the vinyl. Like they do in America.
Yeah.
Like
When-
they did with disco.
When John
But you
Lennon
want
said
prog
they were
sucks.
bigger than God,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they
then people
burnt.
burnt the
I
Beatles.
would burn every Yes album.
Yeah.
I'd have to save the first one.
You could
With sweetness on.
Ian would
Yeah.
dive in.
Yeah,
with
I
acid.
liked
Roger,
them
open
very,
your
very
ears,
early.
Roger.
Yeah.
Very, very
Me and
early.
Ian
I
are
loved
no,
them.
I do agree with you. I mean, though, I've
later.
told my listeners previously, go to YouTube and watch Rick Wakeman. There's live shows of him doing Henry VIII and his 7 wives, and Rick Wakeman and Arthur and the Tales of the Round Table, and then Rick Wakeman and Merlin the Magician and his fables. And he's these huge. Who was paying for these things? And people packed out Wembley to come and watch it.
Yeah.
And he sat in the 360-degree synth.
Yeah.
What's the fancy name for the synth that can
Well-
always see you?
My my keyboard setup is known
In prison there.
as
Ian.
the Ivory Temple.
Oh, do you have a Fairlight? No. Oh, you lucky man.
But
Have you ever played synths with Kate Bush?
No.
She knows her way around a synth.
She was great.
Yeah.
Although
Is
great.
yeah.
Yeah. She came back, didn't she?
Yes.
I
And she
like that
just
song
wins
with
an
Peter
award
Gabriel.
and then leaves again. Really? Of all Kate Bush's output, you like the one
I
with
love
Peter
Peter Gabriel's voice.
Even
Even though I'm not a fan of
Don't
prog. I
give
don't
up.
think that Peter Gabriel's prog.
He was a little bit.
Genesis were
Yeah,
quite
well,
prog.
but
Oh my God, is this just... No.
This is just ridiculous
This
now.
is ridiculous.
Let's
Yes.
get it back to some
Let's-
salacious gossip.
yeah.
What's the most
Just put some
sort of
music on.
showbiz situation you've had yourself where even you were like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Like, where were you and who were you surrounded with? I mean, the Blue Note, when you were there with Bjork, David Bowie, Mel B from the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
That
no,
must have been...
yeah. That
and
was
Goldie.
outrageous, yeah.
And Goldie.
I
yeah.
met the Duke a few times.
Yeah. Well, tell us about
You
one
know,
of the times
I was backstage
on the world tour or something.
at
Yeah.
a David Bowie concert, and he came out of his dressing room. I was chatting to one of the band who I was friends with. He came out of the dressing room with a dressing gown on,
Yeah.
and he came over to me. He said, "Hi, I'm David."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. I've known who you are all my life.
Yeah, but he can't win there. If he just came over and goes, "What's up?" You go, "Oh, you think I know who you are?"
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think? Because you know the amount of times it's happened where
you.
someone famous has said to somebody else, "I love your work," and they've just gone, "Yeah, I'd have a double whiskey, please." They thought they were because they're dressed often they're dressed in tuxedos at award ceremonies, and the big mega famous person just sort of dismisses the slightly less mega famous person and thinks they're a waiter. You don't want that happening.
No, okay.
But you're going to
so
know
he was,
David. He has different coloured eyes.
He was and weird teeth. He was erring on the side of caution
Yeah.
that I may be the only person in the world who didn't know who he was.
Yeah. Did he say anything about your musical
we had a
output?
chat.
What did you talk about? What do you talk about with
we
David Bowie?
chatted about, I don't know. Can't remember really.
You can't remember?
No.
If you can remember, you weren't there.
I said, nice dressing gown.
Yeah. Was he wearing much underneath it?
No, naked. Completely.
Is it-
Naked underneath.
Okay, that's another thing I want to talk to you about off mic. There's a picture of him in a American flag thong. Have you seen that picture where he's
No.
on the boat?
No.
Anyway.
I also liked his old teeth.
Yeah,
I preferred his old teeth
Why?
before they were
That's
done.
because you like bad teeth.
Because I've got bad teeth myself. But I always thought he looked cooler. But you've got you've got his old guitarist in your band, haven't you?
We've got
one of
Reeves.
his guitarists,
He had a very
Reeves
famous
Gabriel.
guitar in the
We've
Fame
got
era.
Reeves.
that one.
No, he's from Tin
No,
Machine.
he's from Tin Machine, but
Actually, I always tell Reeves that it was the worst 10 years of the Duke's career.
Really?
But he used to not like
Those
it.
late 80s albums.
No, from like Tin Machine
Oh,
through
yeah.
to 2000.
Oh, God.
But I like Reeves now. We're friends now.
Yeah.
Our guitarist.
Yeah.
Because he noodles.
Well, he can take a joke as well, obviously.
Yeah.
If you've been in Bowie's band, you probably laugh about it.
Yeah, he's got lots of good stories about the Duke and Tin Machine and the other two blokes in Tin Machine. And actually, when he first joined the band, people would be in the front row of the Cure concert with a Tin Machine T-shirt on. Yeah, that's real dedication.
And yeah,
loyalty.
keeping that dream alive.
We haven't played much music.
Yeah, I know.
Play some more.
Well, Ian is meant to be handling that, but he keeps being reticent
I
and
messed
pressing
it-
start at the
yeah, but
wrong.
I messed it up.
Roger wants
Okay.
some Rhodes versus.
Oh yeah, play Donny Hathaway at
Yeah.
the Ghetto.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because that is a Wurlitzer. Because guitarists are like, oh yeah, that's a Strat, that's a Les Paul.
Do you want the live version?
Yeah, we could do.
All right then.
Oh, deliveries. Oh, it's only bills.
Ian, you've broken YouTube.
Have I?
Yeah, Donny, Hathaway Live, The Ghetto, 1970. Roger chose this because he wanted to show off the sound of the Wurlitzer, but I think it's a Rhodes. We're going to have to just disagree. Here we go. We're running out of time, and we have to get Roger
And we've also had a surprise visit from Andrew.
Out to Andrew in the studio. See, the thing that's frustrating about this, you cannot make it shut up. If Roger can make this stop making a noise, then he really does know what he's doing.
It's not that complicated.
Well, did you spend a lot of time with Roger while he was doing this in his bedroom, Ian?
When I was trying to do my work.
Yeah. So we shut up with that
Yeah.
goddamn monophonic synth.
Completely distracted.
Do you want any effects on here from the mixer? You want some reverb or anything? A little bit of reverb, yeah? Here we go, John Carpenter. We didn't get to talk about John Carpenter, Roger. Surely John Carpenter, the king of achieving the most out of the least. Yeah, he's getting there. I like the process. We all like listening to the process.
See, I told you I'll get there eventually.
Amazing. Sneaky. Can I just say that even watching a seasoned pro, still enjoy just trying every switch and flicking it on and off. Come on. You're never going to stop doing that.
I'm not.
100%.
No, I don't know this keyboard, so I'm just trying.
Is it a little bit different than this? Is the Behringer ARP?
I've never played an ARP before.
Oh.
Hey, Ollie. How are you, Ollie?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. This is some kind of drone thing.
Yeah, it's
It's not really good radio, is it?
no, I'm enjoying it. Let's just have a little one more noodle. I'm enjoying it a lot. Someone wants me to join in on food.
That's all.
Dave Holloway says it's great radio, and he knows what good radio is. I can tell you. I've just gone really, just gone really prog to annoy Roger. That was in 16/8, Roger. Do you need any flautists for your ballet? Right, he's going to go any minute. He's going to find the magic pocket.
Well, I can't stop it from droning.
I told you, you cannot make it shut up.
Board somewhere. Look, and it's still playing.
Oh, it's broken the internet as well. We had too much creative fun.
It has broken the internet.
Have we gone off air?
All right, we're back on. That was amazing. Yeah. Oh my God, we had so much creative fun that it broke the internet. They don't want us fiddling. You can't turn it off. There's no off button.
There's no volume button.
I just use this one, the VCA gain.
Oh yeah.
Just as he actually got to the pocket, the internet switched off. They don't.
You didn't hear it.
No, they. Go and hit him again. Thank you so much, Roger. It's been Roger O'Donnell from The Cure and Psychedelic Furs and Berlin and the Thompson Twins. Right, Ian, it's your turn to play a record now.
Okay.
Where can we go after that?
This is difficult. You might have to go to Stevie Wonder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good call. Last 15. Oh, yeah, live. Always go with the live, Stevie.
One.
All right, we'll all calm down after some live synth work from Roger. Thank you, Roger.
And this is a Fender Rhodes. Simply.
How are you doing, Ian?
Very well, thank you.
I've had a lot of fun today. How are we
That's
going to end this last 10 minutes?
We
Roger.
could talk about Rick Wakeman.
Oh no.
This is so good. That would crack me up.
All right, we won't talk about him. I was talking the other day about great songs with piano in them.
Yeah.
And the reason that came up was somebody mentioned Bruce Hornsby in the Range,
Oh, yeah.
right? Which is quite pop and
Yeah.
quite W. I won't say
Yeah.
the other word.
Yeah.
Not the one you were mentioning.
It's powerfully emotive music. That's the way it is, I think you're thinking of.
But
And the
no, I was
interesting
thi-
thing about them, they're all 10 minutes long, Bruce Hornsby. You know,
Are
he's
they?
technically writing pop songs, but they're all 10-minute long pop songs, which
the
doesn't make...
long pop song.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was just exploring that, really.
And you had your lineup on your phone of...
Oh,
is
yeah.
that leading into that?
Well, it could be if you wanted to hear that,
Yeah.
because like I said, I've just got the new Mark 8 Rhodes piano, electric piano.
Oh, la-di-da.
And oh no, my sister's telling me that I'm probably making a fool of myself. Oh no, she says she's enjoying the show.
Oh, thank God.
Christine
Out to
in
Christine.
Ian
Christine
says
in
hello.
Chigwell.
Shout out to Chris.
I love Chigwell.
That's what the kids say. Shout out. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And we always like to hear from Christine in Chigwell.
Right. So you can plug this in.
Yeah, I'll
if
plug
you've got
this
an
in.
adapter.
Yeah.
So this is and so my friend Brian, who I collaborate on beats with.
On
'cause-
beats.
Yeah, because he's. I haven't got any patience for beats.
Okay, yeah. Carry on talking.
Charlie's looking for a cable.
No, he's got a USB-C. How do you get audio out of a USB?
Oh, you can't get it out, can you?
I've never seen a USB-C. I'm not that advanced. Wait, I think I've got it. But then I would have it to... No, we can't do it.
Oh, that's. Oh,
I have this, but then that's to USB. I would need USB-C
technical
to
problem.
RCA. I've never seen that. Has anyone seen that? Should we just play it very close to the phone? Is it not on the
play
internet?
it close to the mic.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's unreleased. It's unmixed, unmastered.
Oh, damn it.
It's like a demo.
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
Nobody will hear it.
Wow, I've got USB-C
I could
to
airdrop
jack.
it to your computer.
Yeah, you could do that, and then I'd have to delete it instantly.
No, you can keep it.
Oh, thanks.
I'm not precious.
Okay, let me switch on airdrop. This is impressive. A bunch of old men trying to airdrop live on air.
How do I share? How do I airdrop it?
Just
Oh, download. Hold on. Download.
no, yeah. Okay, bear with us, please. Let's have some soothing flute.
Yet again.
Oh wow! Oh, I thought that just.
Oh. But then where is it? Where does it exist?
In your go into your.
Go you and find it.
This is great. Right. Well, I'm not. Oh wow! You've got a big library. Well, I don't know what the song's called. So
Projections.
Okay.
RO Projections.
Yeah.
Alka. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. It sounds lovely. It didn't download it.
It is downloaded.
Okay, but it's not allowing me. Go to. No, it's Apple Music won't let us. It doesn't like. It's locked.
never
It's
mind.
gate kept. Look, we could look. Listen, that's the essence of it. Let's get a director's commentary over the. Good speaker on here. I'm gonna have to invest in a USB-C to ask for.
Yeah. It's just Apple being cheap.
That is a shame. That.
Never mind.
Okay, well that was a little excerpt. Will that be seeing the light of day?
Yes, that will be on my forthcoming solo album.
Right.
Called.
When's that due?
Don't know yet. I
Who
haven't
are
finished
you
it.
getting to do the cover art?
Ian will be doing cover art.
Good man, good man.
Good.
Good man.
Work at last.
It's the most
Ian and,
regular client you've had,
yes.
Ian.
Yeah.
The only.
Yes, the only client.
No, that's not true. Still waiting for my birthday present. That's
Yeah,
it.
I know. That
oh
was a
gosh.
big moment
Frank Zappa
earlier on in the
picture.
show where
I
Ian
know.
really
Yeah.
upset the
I
guest.
owe, and it's
special
been
guest.
nearly 30 years.
29 years I've been waiting for this present. I think the last crit at art school, they're still waiting for that as well.
Ian's or yours?
Ian's. No, I was always on time
Really?
until I left.
Because you're a lovely, friendly, hard-working
Keyboard player.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was totally distracted continually.
You are. You've been sitting here fidgeting the whole time,
I know.
Ian. You're quite
Yeah.
a little mischief, aren't you?
I
Very funny.
yes.
All right, 4 minutes left.
Oh,
Any final
okay.
thoughts of the day from Roger O'Donnell?
I'm sorry if we've
Oh.
talked too much and haven't played enough music.
No, I like that, but I think you mean specifically you're sorry that you've talked too
No,
much about
No, I
about
never
Rick-
retract.
Rick Wakeman and the prog community.
Never retract.
Never retract.
Always stand by your
act.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man of few words,
I
but he
ju-
stands by them.
Stand by them.
It's been lovely. I've had such a great time. You've been so giving. Do you know, it's quite funny that Letterman or someone, they were talking to chat show hosts about who the greatest guests were, and they all said Trump because he comes on and he just gives it up.
Yeah.
You know, from the 80s, he'd just come in. And you're a lot like that. You know, you just start telling anecdotes. It's very hard to get anecdotes out of certain famous
Is it?
people. Yeah, they don't want to.
I've got so
They don't
many.
enjoy it.
So many.
Let's end on a
anecdotes.
few more. Ian, get an anecdote out of him.
yeah, come on.
Come on, what
Come
do we
on,
do?
Roger.
'Cause you have to just hit the right reference
Yeah.
and then he'll have one.
They're-
Yeah.
Because there are anecdotes. They're referenced by. They're in my head.
Yeah.
They're referenced by events.
Exactly.
And,
When was your favourite? There must have been, you know, like Pikes when it was like Freddie Mercury was there. It was a crossover with disco, and you know, there was
yeah.
a moment in time where you could have been in New York at a certain club and everything was going on. And
Danceteria in New York.
yeah,
Great club.
Danceteria. What happened
My friend Mark was the resident DJ. Mark Kamins, who died sadly.
there? Oh yeah, I know.
Uh,
Yeah, great.
And he said, "Oh yeah, we got this dancer that comes in the club. I think I'm going to produce a couple of songs with her." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, what's her name?" And she said, "Oh, Madonna." And then a year later, I went to New York to see him, and he was really upset. He's like, "Oh, I was supposed to do the album, but she's met Jelly Bean, and he's going to produce it, but I'm still going to get 3 points on the album."
Yeah,
But he was really upset because he basically discovered her.
yeah.
I met him in Athens. He was DJing in a club in Athens in 1977, and he invented rap because he came up with this song. Yeah, it's true
Yeah.
story.
No, Ian's a big fan of rap. He just look at his face.
You
He's
know me.
so happy to hear that.
And it was the song was Getting Up Bright and Early.
Chas and Dave,
No, Mark Hemmings, but he
Really?
he didn't take it anywhere.
can you do a bit of the rapping there that you
No,
heard in Athens
no.
in 1977? Because that is about the period that it's
Yeah, but
Sugar
I remember
Hill Gang.
him. We were talking about what was the worst job you ever had, and he said I washed cars at night. And I was like, well, how could you see if they were clean? But he was just such a nice guy, and he died of a heart attack a few years ago. I was very sad.
Rest in power.
And you know what's sad when somebody dies like that? Their Facebook page stays there.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we're ending on a sad note.
Yeah,
Just
great. That's
thinking
all.
that-
Thanks. Bye,
Yes,
everybody.
okay.
Yeah.
No, we could technically go on and on, but I think it's good to end as well. But if you've got any more anecdotes you'd like to squeeze in.
Well, we could be here for about a week, honestly.
First, did you ever come across the Yellow Magic Orchestra, them guys, what they were
No.
up to in Japan? They like synths.
No.
What about Kraftwerk? Did you hang out with them?
No.
Did you ever get into model railway times with
No. Never liked
Rick Wakeman?
Or
No.
Rod.
Rod
See,
and
I was into slot
Pete
car
Waterman.
racing. Slot
Why
car
do you call
racing.
it slot car? Are you avoiding Scale Electric?
Well, they weren't Scale Electric.
No.
They
Are
were
better?
semi-professional.
They were semi.
We
Are they the
we-
ones that zip round? You can't
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah,
Germany.
we soldered the chassis,
Yeah.
and they had.
You keep saying we. Who's we?
Well,
Don't
my
tell me
brother-in-law,
Robert.
John,
oh,
and I.
oh, I
No,
thought
not
you and
Robert.
Robert in the mansion. Yeah, okay. So you soldered the chassis.
and the engine, and they had foam tyres.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
And where'd you get them from? Are these?
Well, you build them
Yeah.
from scratch.
Wow. I'd love to see that.
It's not. See, model railways aren't competitive, are they?
No, it's just. I say it's just an excuse for men to get together. They can't say, "Would you like to just hang out and go for a walk?" They have to have something.
A reason to bond.
hide the fact that they're just wanting to hang out with each other.
We
like you and Ian into
we've
reggae
recently
music.
started watching The Sopranos, and we're at
Yeah.
the stage where Bobby, I think it is,
Yeah.
he's got a model train set up in his garage,
Yeah.
and Tony goes around there. He's like, "What's going on? What are you doing?" And he actually's got the hat on as well.
yeah.
I never wore a crash helmet racing slot cars. I can say that.
Oh, that is
honestly.
a perfect ending. Roger O'Donnell hates Rick Wakeman and never wore a crash helmet while racing slot cars.
That'll be the episode.
That's the end of me.
That's a great
That
ending.
is the end. I'll
We
be-
just need the house band to start playing
Yeah.
now. Okay, well, that's great. It is 12:01. We've gone over. Okay.
And there's Tony Soprano.
Ian,
know
do you
what?
want to say anything?
No, just thank you so much for putting up with me sitting.
Oh, Ian, thank you. Thank you for sorting this
It's
all
been
out.
fun.
Thanks, Roger.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Thanks
All right.
for having me.
Thank
and
you, everyone.
Making me get up at 7:30 on Monday morning.
And I want one of your... Oh, God, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And I'll have one of your record brushes.
And
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
I'm gonna. It's from Ramar, a company in Berlin.
Okay.
They're goat's hair and carbon fibres. In a kind of, you can have a choice of wood. The handle.
Oh,
I don't. What did you get?
cherry.
Ian?
I don't
Cherry,
know.
walnut.
I'm saving it.
Yeah.
I'd like a light
When my
wood.
turntable gets fixed.
They're really, really good.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you for listening.
thanks. Thanks for
for your
having me.
patience.
Sorry to the prog community worldwide.
No apologies.
Never apologise.
No.
I can't believe we lost signal at that right critical moment when we started. Okay, bye then.
Ciao.
Right.